Ready?
Yeah.
You look ready.
What is up? Welcome to At Weeks in the spoiler-filled look back at this week in comics, movies, TV shows, news, all that good stuff. It was San Diego Comic-Con this weekend, so there's a ton of announcements, news, and things to cover and talk about, and we'll be doing that with none other than Sector 2815, as well as looking at some House of Dragons. I think he said the new Star Trek show is out. I got a giant stack of books from the past 2 weeks because I was on vacation. This is the first At Weeks in back from vacation. Had two of them while I was on the island, the good one. So looking at a bunch of books and this two massive stacks over here. So there's a lot of good stuff to talk about and do. And we're going to be getting into all that right after this. Hello, Paul.
What's happening?
Man, just living the dream. Livin, living. How are you?
I am doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. It needs to be noted, I like your shirt.
Thank you.
That might be the first time I've seen you wear that shirt.
It is the first time I've worn this shirt.
Yeah, that's really cool. Where'd you find that one? You always have like they're cool shirts, but the coolest thing about them is they're shirts that you don't see everybody else wearing.
Right. This one was one of those ads that appears in your feed in Instagram. It was like WU print, like Woo print or whatever.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't heard of that one.
I'm sure they're not legally paying for this.
Yeah.
as with most of the stuff that you find on Instagram.
Yeah, don't let Becker know. That was a sore spot for a while, which I agree with him on it. I remember that was a very polarizing topic of conversation about 2.5, maybe 3 years ago. I think it was surrounding Jim Mint and his Venom shirts or something like that. I don't remember the details. But yeah, very cool shirt. I know it's Pops approved. Definitely Pops approved. Hello to Pop Pop. Throwing those custom emojis. That reminds me, I do want to let everybody know that you can hit the link in the description to this video or any video and find fantastic resources like Big Time Collectibles, who just spent their weekend at San Diego Comic-Con. They had some exclusives and cool stuff. So whatever's left over, if anything, you can find it on their website. And for the next convention, don't miss out. Follow them ahead of time. They allocate a small amount of issues to their website for folks that cannot attend convention. So you can get some cool Absolute Batman exclusives or whatever else. I know Absolute Batman is all the rage right now. And Paul's got a cool little factoid about that, as a matter of fact.
Yes. Did you know that if Absolute Batman was just that title, was its own publishing house, it would actually be the fourth largest comic book publisher behind only DC, Marvel, and Image.
That's insane. Absolute Batman by itself is outselling all the rest. Mad Cave, IDW, Dark Horse.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. What else is crazy is Justin Comics Cleaning and Pressing, where you can send any of your books that you pick up from the fourth largest publishing house known as Absolute Batman to Justin to get them clean pressed and submitted to grading. Let him know you found him via the channel and take advantage of any special offers he might be running at this time. And do not forget, channel membership is also live, so while you're here, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and consider hitting that join button, becoming a channel member. It gets you access to those custom emojis, the loyalty badges next to your name. And next week will be the Legion Loot drawing, so I need to figure out what I'm going to put in the Legion Loot this week. So if you're in the Legion 2, your name goes on a wheel, and we'll pick out one lucky winner, and that person will be receiving the monthly prize. So all the stuff and things. What is going on, Ruby G? Let's change it up. Check this out.
Dun-da-da.
Dun-da-da. Big shout out to Ruby
That
G.
matches your shirt. I like your shirt too.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Shout out to Ruby G, White Tiger Triple C. Pause your screen, screenshot the QR code, or just go over to his website, get some artwork done. Yeah, sure, check him out. 34, what is going on? Good afternoon. Cliff on Comics Legend. He had a fun stream this morning with Eric from Hall Yeah Comics live stream. I forget Eric's YouTube name, but it was a really fun stream. They had like whatever the little thing that they do where you bring five, you pick 5 books and whatever theme you want. Eric picked like his favorite characters, and he had like the first appearance of Space Ghost.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then he went like 3 for 3 with books that I bought at Joe Fest, like this year and in previous years. I forget what the other ones were, but it was really, really funny. But he also had like Aquaman in there. I'm like, dude, this is a solid list.
Mm-hmm.
This is a solid list. It was really cool, but it was a fun show. Rich, what's going on, man? Good to see Comic Cap Collectibles here. Hope you're doing good. Batman 66 does rock and roll. So, Paul, where do you want to start tonight? Do you want to start talking TV shows, dive straight into the San Diego Comic-Con stuff, look at the giant stack of books here, and talk about some of the stuff that's come out in the last week or so? You pick the topic order.
Let's do San Diego Comic-Con. I think that's probably the biggest thing from the past week.
Let's see if I can, dude, that's perfect. We'll put us over here because I still, as you know, I did a really in-depth video of all the stuff that I'm excited about. And in order to do that video, I made a lot of overlays, and I still have some here, so it'll make it easier. I had to delete a lot of them to put more overlays in for a different video that I made after that, but I have overlays. Boom. Look at that. Fits on screen. So coming out of DC Comics this year, there was a lot. There was a lot of information. Paul, do you want to talk about this one first? I want to try to adjust these overlays.
Sure. So this is Jerry Duggan doing his. I don't know if this is his first work for DC. Probably not. I'm sure he's probably done something. But it's basically just a one shot with Deadshot. But there was a rumor. There was nothing announced, but that this will not be Jerry Duggan's only work for DC. It seems as though a lot of writers suddenly kind of want to work with DC nowadays, which is great. And Jerry seems to be one of them from the rumors that I've heard. But yeah, that comes out in a couple of weeks, I think. This is, of all the things I want to talk about, this is the one that's going to come out first. This will be the most recent one.
And it's kind of important too. This serves as like, whenever we get like one of the new eras, like we're going to start the Dawn of DC era or the All In era, they always do this one shot or a primer, as they call it sometime. This seems like it's the next phase of the All In Saga primer kind of thing, where it'll kind of be giving us a little spotlight of a little bit of information from a lot of different characters in a lot of different places that kind of gives you like a foundation of what's going on, almost like an entry point for some other readers if you want to dive in and you don't want to do too much back reading. And it's all going to be told through the lens of Deadshot getting involved in this huge conspiracy plot that has further reaches all through the DC universe that could change the course of events for all things to come, which is a standard tagline for stuff. Right. Rarely ever happens. Every now and then it does, but yeah, I'm super excited for it. We haven't seen Deadshot a lot lately outside of the Deathstroke series, but yeah, super cool character. Love his suit, and we'll see. Anything that looks like a conspiracy board with yarn, I'm in for. This looks like that to me.
He is all in.
I'm all in, and I'm also all in for the next one. So they did give us information in more pages and stuff on the next 3 all-in titles. Jason Todd is leading the Teen Titans we've known about. We have the creative team about all that, but they gave us a few little preview pages. That's right around the corner. We also have the Doom Patrol coming. Same thing. We got the creative team, got some of the art. That looks incredible. That's right around the corner. And lastly, the big return of the Legion of Superheroes. This has been one that hasn't been around for a long time. And they tried to get it. They had plans a couple of times. It just didn't work out. But it's finally here. It's officially here next week, to be exact. But that one, we got more pages. And it's the Hayden Sherman from Wonder Woman doing the artwork.
Yeah, the Legion of Superheroes is one of those books that it just seems as though if it's not being printed, there's always seems to be a noticeable hole in the publishing schedule of DC whenever there's not a Legion of Superheroes on there.
For reals?
For reals.
I'll be honest with you, dude. Like I can't even think of it. When was the last time Legion of Superheroes had an ongoing? I know it had that Brian Michael Bendis little maxi series kind of thing, like 2018 or 19, where they rolled in the Gold Lantern character briefly, and
that was probably it. Where then they did the crossover with the Justice League, and
you just don't get a lot of them in modern era.
Yeah,
like they're like extracurricular characters kind of thing. It's kind of wild to think about because of how vast
That
their
almost
mythos
kind
and
of
their
then puts
world
them all
is.
the way back to the New 52 was the last time we kind of saw them in any consistency.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. Next one on the list, though, that we got first time confirmation and information on is The Demon, written and drawn by James Herron. James Herron, I'm only familiar with through that Image comic he did called Ultra Mega, which was like a giant kaiju monster kind of thing, a little bit of alien stuff. He wrote and drew that. Go ahead.
You know something else that he did?
Hit me.
He did the backup story in the Absolute Batman Annual.
Oh, yeah, okay. That little one where they broke into the house and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So this guy is kind of, I would say he's kind of meant for this. The whole synopsis behind this is the world is already overran with demons and monsters, but only one person can see them. And it's up to him to put a stop to them before the world is destroyed. And that's none other than Jason Blood. But unfortunately, he's having like a crisis of self with the wizard that is no longer around and the demon in his head talking to him, clearly talking about Merlin and Etrigan. And for context, I don't know how many people will remember this, but Merlin has been on like a tirade through the remember, it's been a couple years now. It was the Justice League Dark backup stories they had in the Infinite Frontier era, but Merlin was a real menace. Like they were, Rom V was building up that thing there, and then it never got addressed again. I'm wondering if this might piggyback off of that or something. I'm not sure, but Jason Blood's dealing with a crisis of self. The demon wants out, don't want to let him out. Can he step up to the task? So I think style-wise, this is going to be a little wild and out of the box, and it might be a little tough for a lot of people. It might hit that indie crowd more than anything. I don't want to say similar to Martian Manhunter in style or tone, but similar in the fact that it might be a little more indie-oriented.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, I know it wasn't mentioned, but didn't Rom V post that he's going back to the New Gods?
Rom V is officially back to working on more New Gods. The Legion of Canceled Superheroes. Merlin was a very, very, very bad guy in recent times. I mean, he was on a warpath against all magic in the DC comics. Yeah. But yeah, he said at the end of that 12-issue last run that he'll be back to do more down the road, but they made the official announcement in the last couple of weeks that he's actively on it now. So I'm super excited for that because those 12 issues that was like a flawless maxi series. It felt cinematic in every aspect. All right, the next one, which was the big announcement, which is the only one that I'm legitimately not excited for.
Oh, I know what it is.
Go ahead, call it out.
Shadow of the Bat.
Bow! Written by Denise Camp, art by Javier Rodriguez. This is your creative team behind Absolute Martian Manhunter. Bringing back Shadow of the Bat is fun timing because I just got done reading a lot of them going through Nightfall. But where are you at on Shadow of the Bat? Well, first off, where's your excitement level on the Demon? Are you going to pull this one? Is this going to be a grab number one and see how it goes for you, or where are you at with this?
Yeah, I think for all of them, I will at least get probably the first story arc. So probably 6 issues I'll be in for almost all of them.
That's super fair. Now, do you know if Demon is solicited as ongoing? I did not notice if it was or was not.
Not sure.
Okay, and it's the same information for this one. I'm not sure if it was solicited as ongoing or not.
Yeah, I'll be in for 6 issues unless in issue number 2 he tells me to hold the comic up to a light or cut something out. In which case, then I'm out.
Did you read what this one's about?
I did not. I just knew that it was coming. So,
all right. So let me catch y'all guys up. For all those wondering what another Batman title on the shelf can bring to the table, what it can bring to the table that the other 37 Batman titles don't, and that's coming from a DC guy. In Shadow of the Bat, Batman will be dealing with his trauma of working inside of a city with failing institutions while holding his trauma up to the trauma of the citizens of Gotham that have been traumatized by the effects of a chemical spill. How will their traumas overlap with each other, insert with each other, and trauma bond and trauma dock with each other? The damn solicit for this, it wasn't even an official solicitation. It's an actual explanation from the creative team. Say the word trauma like 7 times in one paragraph. These people are whacked out of their mind, Paul. Like every single red flag I have that could possibly go up with creators and stuff are completely up with this. Like this, me personally, I do not like Denise Camp as a human, as an individual, for reasons that I think are just detrimental for DC Comics, for the industry, for humanity. Like I do not like this guy. and his shovel beating, chest thumping, creative style is just not for me. But if you like this book, I'm happy for you, whoever's watching this.
I would be really happy if they put Brian Stelfreeze on the covers like they used to do.
Dude, if they did that, I would buy them for sure. I got a bunch of those in arm's reach.
Yep.
Got to keep them in arm's reach.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm passing on this one. Like, in all reality, I might buy issue 1, a variant, to give away, because every Tuesday on my live stream, if you're watching, tune in on Tuesdays for the new DC Day live stream. I do a weekly giveaway where I give away new comics that come out that week, and I typically try to grab new stuff, and I typically try to grab variants. So, like, if you're not a big reader, you're a collector, that way it's a giveaway for the widest audience possible. If there's a really cool variant or something that week, I might grab one and I might thumb through it and see. But there's nothing about this that has me excited. I'm a 0 out of 10 for this one. So you're 6 issues at least on this one, but where's your excitement level for this?
Relatively low. I also think that this is another one. I mean, I said the same thing with Batman. I do not like the Batman logo on the main one. I do not like this logo either for Shadow of the Bat.
Yeah, the original Shadow of the Bat logo looked amazing.
Yeah.
Very similar, though. It was like written inside the bat symbol. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. This bat symbol is just like, hey, look how cool we are. But yeah, I like the other one, just Shadow of the Bat. Yeah, just weird. I don't understand this guy. Pass the trauma off to someone else. Trauma of the Bat. That's what it should be called.
Remember when the first Shadow of the Bat came out? Oh no, sorry, that was Legends of the Dark Knight. Never mind. I was thinking when the Legends of the Dark Knight came out, they did variant covers and they were all just different colors. One was blue, one was fuchsia, one was red, and one was green.
Shout out to fuchsia. That's kind of like the that Amazing Spider-Man. Those 4 issues. Remember, like, the black foil is Spider-Man 2099's first preview pages. There's a red, a blue, and a green one. So it made me think of that. I enjoyed those. But yeah, not looking forward to this one. We'll see how it goes. My number 1 most excited announcement for DC Comics, drum roll here. Can you guess what it is, Paul?
I'm thinking it's a Jonosaurus Hex.
Jonosaurus Hex number 1 through 6 solicited as a miniseries. It's called Jonah Hex and the Shadow of Death. We find our character Jonah Hex has retired. I don't know what from. I didn't know he was gainfully employed, but a retired Jonah Hex is called back into action for supernatural, dark, mysterious happenings around the way. So literally told us exactly what we already know about him in the most basic way, except for the little tidbit, because we didn't get a whole lot of information on this, but saying that a retired Jonah Hex comes back makes me think that this could be an older version of Jonah Hex than we've ever dealt with before. So there could be potential new angles of dealing with maybe a more grizzled, rough around the edges Jonah, which is kind of hard to imagine to begin with. But yeah, Michael Walsh is writing and drawing this one himself, similar to the Demon writer-artist combo. And this is a guy that I think is drawing exquisite corpses, and he's done some Silver Coin, and he did a story in Superman Red and Blue.
The coin stuff that he did was incredible.
Yeah, so this guy, the preview pages they shared look great. It looks very horror focused. So I'm in for this one. Unfortunately, it's only 6 issues, but that's better than no issues. So I'll be picking it up. And luckily for me, Paul will be picking it up because it's only 6 issues, whether it's good or bad.
But if it sells well, who knows?
Yeah, that is like the stereotypical format for DC, where we'll do a limited series. If it does well, we'll extend it, similar to how they just extended Absolute Green Arrow from 6 to 12 issues. Jonah Hex, F that guy. He tried to keep me from completing my El Diablo run. Yeah, Pops had this was like 5 years ago at Heroes Con. We worked a grid on the floor, Paul. Started at one side, every single booth, every single box, talked to every single vendor. Pops was just wanting to get the first appearance of Jonah Hex because as a backup story for El Diablo, and he was completing his El Diablo collection. It wasn't until the last day, the last aisle, probably the third to last booth, that we found one to pick up. We found one more copy a little bit before then, but the guy was off his meds when it came to the price. We even tried to do some haggling, pairing it up with other book purchases. And the guy said no to the point that his wife got mad at him for not making the sale because they might not have made enough money that weekend to make her happy. But he ended up coming home with it all the same from a different vendor for significantly cheaper for about the same grade.
It's All-Star Western
75?
75. Okay.
I think 75, 76, something like
I was
that.
going to say 83 for some reason, but
83?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you're probably right.
I don't know.
I just remember it was All-Star Western.
Now I'm curious. Dun, 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 dun. Do, 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 do. Boom, boom, boom. Shit, it's All-Star Western 10. We were way off.
Okay.
If you subtract mine from yours, we're there. We did
There
it.
you go.
It was teamwork. All right, there's other announcements. Now, these next ones are a little bit farther out, so there's not as much information or details for them. But this is what a lot of people have known about. There was a lot of people online in recent times complaining that DC Comics doesn't service different minority communities enough, and they wanted to stage an entire boycott over it. And it was clear that these people, despite what they may say or pretend, didn't necessarily read these books or follow along with this universe. You might just follow along with one or two books. You might follow along in trade paperback format. There could be numerous reasons why they weren't aware of this, but these characters have been on the way for a good minute. One of the creatives behind them, Stephanie Williams, who's doing Vixen, has been like teasing and talking about this a little bit for a while. So Vixen, written by Stephanie Williams, who's currently on Wonder Woman now, right? Like Tom King's run, is it over? Or is she just doing the layover issues?
She's doing like he does like an arc, and then she does 2 issues, and then he does another arc. And
we're on the Stephanie Williams 2 issues right now, but I believe that she'll be writing Wonder Woman after Tom King as well.
Could be,
if I'm not mistaken. Could be mistaken. I'm definitely not wrong, but I might be mistaken.
I thought I was wrong once, but I was mistaken.
Exactly. But Stephanie Williams, who nominated for an Eisner recently, I'm not sure what book it was for. I believe she does a lot of indie stuff.
Yeah.
But she's going to be doing a Vixen ongoing, solicited as an ongoing, not solicited as a miniseries. So that's surprising. So I think this book will do all right, Paul. I'm not necessarily a big fan of Vixen specifically, but I'm a big fan of anything that has to do with the Parliament. Animal Man, Swamp Thing, Grundy. Whenever we're doing stuff with the Parliament, that's some really fun lore that has deep reaches across the DCU. So I'm really excited about what part Vixen will play in that.
Yeah, and the whole, and the red and the green, and
we got the blue stuff in there now.
Got the blue, yep,
with Aquaman. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited about that, and I think that this book also has a secondary lifeline for it as well. The DC bombshells crush it. Mm-hmm. Like for all the talk that people might have against DC not doing enough, like what are the stipulations? Black lead, black creator, ongoing main universe that has to be printed on a odd number day and released on an even number day. Whatever it is, whatever you want to say. One thing DC does better than everybody is their female-led comics. They have countless ones, and they all seem to do really well. Poison Ivy has had her own ongoing title for, I think we're over 50 issues now. Catwoman is approaching 100. Harley is over 50. Batgirl has been ongoing since the All-In era started. Power Girl has had her own mini. Fire and Ice has had their own mini. And largely thanks to not only having consistent storytelling, these characters having a somewhat of a fan base, but the variant covers. There is a strong DC bombshell fan club out there that buys these sexy lady covers.
You do a couple: Amanda Connor, Terry and Rachel Dodson, Jerry and Jenny Friesen variants, and
guaranteed,
no problem selling them.
Just printing money. And hell, this cover right here is awesome. Mm-hmm. That's a solid cover right there. A lot going on with the wings, the claw hand. I'm not sure what's up with the crown, but I'm not sure what animal that's from.
I don't know.
What is up, Joffrey? Hello. Happy Sunday to you. What a San Diego Comic-Con event that it brought. Yeah, it was a big one.
Yep.
Vixen first appeared in Action Comics. Yep. And then the other one, the big one, the one that we've all known is coming. If you read comics, they've been building up to this for a long while now, but it's the return of Static. It's going to be written by Cody Ziegler, another creator I'm not familiar with, but very familiar with Static. Mm-hmm. So this one, they first let us know that this was on the way during Mark Waid's New History of the DC Universe 4 issues that they did, where they folded the Milestone universe into the DCU. Well, why would they do such a thing? Well, probably because they're about to use the characters. And then shortly after that, in the DC KO event, there was a big reveal that Static, old Virgil here, was tied into the shenanigans that Granny Goodness had been up to since the Jeremy Adams run of the Flash. And then after that, they set up and Virgil to show up in the Teen Titans, or the Titans title coming. So we've known this was coming. They didn't just throw this title out there and hope for a win. They've done proper justice to the character to roll him in, introduce him to people, and give him some context and give him a universe. So I'm excited for this one. This one's definitely on the list.
They really fleshed out the Dakota incident.
The Dakota incident was awesome, explaining where they've been and why they haven't been active in the new history of the DC Universe era that people are reading now. Well, where they've been. Well, you can find out where and why in that. So I'm stoked for this one. I mentioned it in the video. I think now's the perfect time where they've done stuff with the Milestone characters on and off for some years. And even about 6 years or so ago, they did that Milestone initiative and they tried to bring these characters back. They did it in the digital first format, favoring the app and everything. I don't think, like, I know that did okay for them. It didn't do good enough to keep it going. But I think a lot of it, failure had to do with that creative releasing that they were doing with it. A lot of the artwork wasn't necessarily that savory, and the release schedule was weird because people were getting it at different times, whether you had it on this format or had to wait for that format. It was a little odd. New guy Ryan, he read all of it as it came out. I read the Static one and everything, so we'll see how it goes. I'm looking forward to it, but I think now's the perfect time to put out this book. I mentioned how the people that grew up with Static as a Saturday morning cartoon, we're in that 35 to 45 age range, which is like that target audience age for people coming in and out of shops. Yeah, when we get Icon, we'll be there. But I'm assuming the pathway to Icon, Rocket, Hardware, Blood Syndicate, any of them is through this book, through Virgil. Whether he goes back to Dakota, like having survived Granny, time with the Titans. I'm not sure how they're going to play that. Is he just going to appear in Titans and spin out of Titans into his own? And from there, when he goes home, you can spin anyone out of his own title at that point. But I like how they're sitting there and actually trying to build them up instead of just throwing the titles out there and hoping for the best. They mentioned another one too. I forgot who's writing it. Oh yeah. Hampton, the writer behind Green Lantern Corps, will be doing a Steel. John Henry Irons is getting another title. I'm not sure miniseries are ongoing. The last one that they didn't do too well. Still works. We'll see how that goes.
That was written by the guy who played Worf in Star Trek, Michael Dorn.
Yeah. It just wasn't that great.
Yeah, well, I mean, you mentioned something very interesting in the video that everyone, if you're not a member, you can see it tomorrow, but is that trying to give every single ancillary character in the Superman family their own ongoing title.
It's crazy.
Probably may not be the best use of them.
Yeah. If I was the publisher at DC, there would always be a Superman family character with a mini-series. We got 6 issues of Connor Kent Superboy coming up. And when issue 4 gets there, you start soliciting the next mini-series for Supergirl, or the next mini-series for John Kent, or the next miniseries for John Henry Irons, and you don't stop. You always have a super family, and that can tie in and out of whatever you have going on or stand on its own. But like, it's just delusional to think that every character at Marvel or DC is, 1, popular enough, or 2, actually cool enough to carry an ongoing title by themselves. You'll always have fans out there that it's somebody's favorite character, granted, always, and that's okay. But it's unrealistic to think that there's enough of those people to carry these titles ongoing forever like that. And I think, unfortunately, for some people, it's just the way that it works, the way that time folded out. DC's been around a long time. A lot of the minority characters or black characters and stuff, they came around later. Like the more established characters with the largest fan bases have been around forever, and they just happen to be predominantly white because this country happened to be predominantly white and ran by predominantly white people. It's just the demographics of the country we live in. So I like that they throw stuff out there. I mean, there's a lot of characters I love, like Jonah Hex.
Mm-hmm.
Joan Hex, I'm happy for my 6 issues. Like, doesn't matter his skin color. I just like the character. Static, I'm happy we're getting a Static. Whether it runs 6, 12, or ongoing, I'll be happy to read one. As long as it's good. If I start reading it sucks, I'll just drop it like a bad habit like I would any other book. But give it a shot. It's just unrealistic. If they make money, they make sense. If they don't, they don't. And that's just the realization of the world that we happen to live in. Time to test those folks who are screaming about it to see if they show up to support the characters. Pops, like, I'm not trying to be controversial. I'll go on, dude. I guarantee you that the issue ones will sell good. And after that, the primary people that buy this thing will be the people that are already buying comics anyways. Whatever that demographic is that already go to comic shops and buy and support these books, they are the ones that will be buying issue 3. Everyone will go out and buy issue 1 to support, but those people that are online talking about how they're mad about DC, they don't buy comics anyways. They don't. They just don't. Hell, I talked about it in a video before that happened. Paul, do you remember the piracy video I made?
Mm-hmm.
Had no clue that there was like a connecting fabric between the person I was criticizing about piracy and the whole boycott thing that came a few weeks later. But the guy who I was criticizing about piracy, he was mad that he was pro-piracy until a book that he liked didn't get enough sales.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was anti-piracy. And that guy just happens to be the guy who led the boycott. Like, what does that tell you? It doesn't buy him anyways.
Yeah, it's like everybody, everybody wants what they want until it impacts them. It's like, then, when I have to pay for it, well, I can't afford that.
I can't afford that. And now let me justify it. Well, it's hard to get in my area. Okay, because I have to get on the internet, I should be allowed to steal.
Right.
Like,
because there's no such thing as the U.S. Postal Service.
And there's how few countries there are that actually don't have access to comics, like via ordering online or LCSs in person. It's ridiculously few. Ridiculously few. I had so many arguments with people on X about that, on those posts that I shared on that, because they said stuff like, oh, well, I don't make a lot of money. And I would go and look at their page and they'd be traveling and going out with friends. I'm like, dude, you make plenty of money. I wouldn't spend the kind of money you're spending on these frivolous things you're doing. I have to buy groceries and pay bills, and I have my comic budget. But like, it's the excuses never hold up. The excuses never hold up whatsoever. Let's see. Now the big one. The big one. This one touches a little bit into the absolute territory, just a little bit. They made their first announcement for Batman Day, Paul.
I know that. The Batman of Two Worlds. September 19th. Batman Day.
What is Batman Day?
Batman Day is the day to celebrate all things Batman. Scott Snyder and Nick Darrington will be doing the absolute Batman portion. Matt Fraction and Javier Fernandez will be doing the Batman of the Prime Universe. It basically is the same crime looked at from both points of view.
So are we expecting them to cross over, or is it 2 separate stories under one roof?
I don't expect them to cross over in the issue, but who knows? True, every day is Batman Day.
And what's the historic relevance of this title that kind of could almost be like a red herring for this whole thing?
Well, Flash 123, back in the day, Julius Schwartz created the multiverse, which has created every other multiverse in every other universe. We would not have Avengers Doomsday or Avengers Secret Wars without Flash 123, the Flash of Two Worlds, where he basically took the Golden Age Flash and had him meet the Silver Age Flash, and he did that by saying that one Flash is on one Earth, another Flash is on another Earth, and he explained it that way. One is Earth 1, one is Earth 2, and the difference between the two, how they could both coexist, is they both vibrated at different speeds.
They didn't take their batteries out soon enough.
Correct. So their universes vibrated at different speeds, and that's how they were able to coexist at the same time. But that's how you could travel, but between the two was by changing that.
Super cool stuff. It doesn't get much cooler than that. So Batman in Two Worlds, I'm looking forward to this, and
Mm-hmm.
the concept is great. Like watching them solve the same crimes, respectively, on their own Earths, their own styles. I'm wondering if our Bruce is going to solve it quicker, being that he has a bigger brain and a larger head, and that tiny absolute noggin is going to slow down absolute Batman. We'll find out. But I think that there's a potential to get a little bit of crossover or tease at a crossover. I don't necessarily think they'll be standing in a room staring each other down, but the title alone, I feel like that's got to be a hint. I feel like it's got to be a hint.
Mm-hmm. It would have been cool if they had both of the Batmans running on each side of a brick wall.
It would have been, wouldn't it? That would have been a little on the nose.
Yeah.
And then we also got some stuff out of the big haul for DC Comics. They did some of their movie announcements and stuff. I don't think they did announce any movies, or did they? We didn't get any new footage for Clayface or nothing like that, because all we have around the corner is Clayface, right?
Yeah, the big thing that they did was it was the world premiere of Nightfall Part 1. They showed it in one of their big theaters or whatever. But
they actually showed the movie at San Diego.
Yeah,
I saw the post with Jeremy Adams sitting next to like the movie poster on the wall at one of the exhibits or something.
We didn't mention Dark Side Against the World.
No, I don't have that slide in here. We can talk about it though.
Okay.
Yeah,
the next big part of the Dark Side universe is Dark Side Against the World.
One shot.
One shot. Yep. So it's Scott Snyder and Joshua Williamson, and I don't remember who's doing the art, but it basically is the next step in the Absolute / Prime universe. So
the All-In saga.
Right, exactly.
Sanford Green is working on it. How about that?
He's doing the art. Yeah, Sanford Green.
Here we go. Yeah, I had to get some of these slides and stuff out of here. Good grief, that's tiny. So make this bigger. There we go. So Dark Side versus the World. Scott Snyder and Sanford Green will tell the history and motivation of Dark Side and Dark Side versus the World one shot. It's easy for new readers to understand, and this will also tell us what Dark Side will be doing in 2027. This key issue is bringing the Absolute and mainline universe even closer. You get some of the art there. You got the New Gods on there. I think, man, I can't tell if that's baby Dark Side. I see the Omega symbol on his chest, or if that's the newest god that was born inside the pages of Rom V's The New Gods, because we have the New Gods on here. We know that little blue kid was born and was the catalyst for the story that Rom V wrote. Got some wicked covers. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yo, look how crazy. Is that Granny Goodness on the right with the streaks in her hair? You got the sod on one side. That's a wicked depiction of Granny there. The Calabac. God, he's huge. Yeah, some really, really cool art on that. Some really cool art. My cover for DC All-In Saga Dark Side versus the World #1. This is Juan Ferreira. Good grief.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. I'm loving the way that they're pulling this saga together, that it wasn't just like the All-In initiative didn't stop when Next Level began. There is kind of like Next Level is like a subplot inside of the All-In saga. And it makes me wonder what the next one will be called after Next Level. I mean, they're crushing it with Next Level. We've got like up to 4 waves of books announced, most of them out now. But this is really cool that DCKO wasn't the end. It was only the beginning. That was just a last-ditch effort to stop Darkseid from conquering Earth while he's conquered so much more of the multiverse. And he's just getting started. So I can't wait to find out what he's been up to. We had that huge tease at the end of DCKO where we saw him on all the different multiverses on Earth 3 with the Crime Syndicate and everywhere else running their own KO tournaments and him actually succeeding on those Earths. So it's going to be super cool. And I'm all in for Darkseid. Look at these variants. It's been a long time since the Infinite Frontier kicked off for that story.
I was going to say, we've went through Infinite Frontier to Dawn of DC to All In, now to Next Level.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope. Looking forward to it. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Well, any other major DC book announcements there?
Absolute Black Canary one shot is
Oh,
coming.
all the absolute stuff, right? There, man, they had tons of absolutes.
Mhm.
What was it? They had the absolute Black Canary one shot they announced.
Mhm.
They showed the wraparound covers for the absolute Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman coming. They revealed John Henry Iron Steel armor that's coming. They revealed the design for Cheetah that's coming right around the corner. They revealed the Atom that's coming in the Flash number 20. They revealed Cyborg that's coming in the Flash number 20. They announced Batman, Absolute Batman Beyond Arc M, which is the second Arc M one shot where they'll introduce Professor Pig as the guy who runs all the arcs for Jack Grimm, aka the Joker, and his designs. They did a lot of that. And the absolute deluxe edition hardbacks for Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, which you brought up a fantastic and interesting point of.
Is it's supposedly supposed to have all of the variant covers inside of it. Now, you can get hundreds of variant covers, but when you think about it, it really is the number of retailers, really not the number of covers. So there may have been like 100 different variant covers, but if you take BTC, they did a trade dress and then a virgin and then a foil, but it's really the same art. So they're probably just going to put the one page, I'm sure, obviously, in the book. So it's just the number of retailers that they have. Um, but yeah, that's what they just, and it's going to collect the first two arcs in each of those
Oh,
titles.
for 12 issues apiece.
Right.
I would argue that the first Superman arc took 12 issues.
Yeah.
That's when the whole Battle of Kansas took place. That one was a slow burn. It was really good, though. Yeah, this
And
is
then we
going to
also
be
did.
interesting. Absolute Universe is crushing it, like Paul said earlier, with how much Batman's selling.
Brian Hitch, in part of the solicitations, they showed the first two. Brian Hitch is doing connecting covers for the three Trinity titles of Absolute Superman, Absolute Batman 25, Absolute Wonder Woman 25, and Absolute Superman 25. He's doing a connecting cover with the three of them. So look for that as well, which is, I want to say this is his first non Ghost Machine stuff that he's done in a while.
I don't know. Here's the
Yeah.
wraparound, though, that they shared, not the Brian Hitch, but
Yeah, each issue is supposed to have its own wraparound cover too, each of the 25th issues.
there's a design for Cyborg. What are you thinking of the look of Absolute Cyborg here?
Well, I guess I can see the arm, but what's that in the top right hand corner? Is that?
I'm not sure if that's supposed to be like the full head cover. It's hard to see on here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it'll zoom in. No, it won't zoom in right. It's hard to see here, but if you look at the picture where his arm is, you can see he has metal on his face too. So I'm wondering if similar to Zack Snyder's Justice League, if it'll like cover up his whole face at some point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm not sure. Yo. That Bjorn Barron's clay face.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty wicked. John Boy Myers Batman. Oh yeah, I forgot this is coming. They announced this at Heroes Con.
Absolute Batgirl. Yep.
Yeah, wearing her dad's jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Catwoman. Yeah, I don't see the Brian Hitch ones. That's wicked. Good God. Clay Man and Seth Man. Yeah, this stuff is just dominating right now, dude.
Yeah, we have the Absolute Cassandra Cain, which is supposed to come out after issue 3, I think, of Catwoman, and then we have the Absolute Black Canary, which is supposed to come out after issue 6, I believe, of Absolute Green Arrow to kind of bridge the gap between, give them an extra month or so since they extended their run to 12 issues.
Seems like it's not slowing down and there's no end in sight.
No.
Whatsoever. And then we got a second Green Lantern trailer, not a second, but a final Green Lantern trailer. They gave us a lot of new stuff in the trailer there. What do you think of that?
I am so ready for it. It's like, it's great because it's not gonna skip a beat. It seems from House of Dragon right into Green Lanterns, or Lanterns rather. it looks incredible.
Then we got scenes of him just blasting them.
Mm-hmm.
So then I started blasting. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in the trailer.
Yeah, we got the first mention of are the bad guys going to be the Manhunters?
Yeah,
Seems
appeared
like
in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
But
they're a little bit different than the Manhunters that we're used to. They seem to be some sort of like shapeshifters or whatever.
Yeah, so these are your Manhunters, and right here in arm's reach.
Imagine
in
that.
case you're wondering. Just League of America issue number 141, the first appearance of the Manhunters, not to be confused with Mark Shaw, the Manhunter.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Manhunters. It's plural.
Yeah, that was when they were first. That was their origin, and they were first announced as the predecessors of the Green Lantern Corps.
Yeah, we tried, we failed. We're going to move on. Yeah, the Guardians made the Manhunters as their intergalactic peacekeepers first. Didn't work out well, so they said, we'll try again. The Manhunters were not happy about that. But it was cool. In the trailer, they tease that they can take on the form of anybody. You don't know.
Where we got to talk about this because it's a...
Here we go. Here's a guy talking about it. I just want to see if he shows them. That's them in the top in the red with the whatever, the little lines on their jacket. Doesn't look like it's clipped. Yeah. Oh, Sinestro.
Sinestro, yeah, we got our first look at Sinestro as well.
Looked like he was a prisoner in the science cells to me. What?
Yeah, he was, and he was a little bit older too. So
definitely older.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I don't think that I think Mark Strong is going to be a hard act to follow. I mean, he was flawless as Sinestro. But one thing Sinestro doesn't really have to be is too acrobatic. Not since the Jeff Johns era when he kind of redefined him the way that he would ring sling. He would be just floating in the air with his arms crossed and his hand would just be throwing out constructs. I thought that was a great way to do it. And I'm not too sure we're going to see him in the yellow ring slinging or any of that, but we'll see what happens with it.
That was such a good after credit scene that just obviously went nowhere because the movie tanked. But
yes, it did. Unfortunately, I enjoyed it.
Mark Strong, the after credit scene where he ended up donning the yellow.
Yeah, it was wicked. Puts on the ring and you can see his face expression as he feels the power go through him. Oh, this is interesting. This Super Frame post says, just realized that DC has two separate groups called the Manhunters. The Guardians created Manhunters, the precursors to the Green Lanterns, and the Manhunters, as in the occupation of Martian Manhunter. Bit odd for a Green Lantern series to have the White Martians be the antagonists. And in this picture of the White Martians, they have the iconic little X on their chest like Martian Manhunter has.
Yeah, but they weren't called the White Martian Manhunters. They were just called the White Martians.
White Martians, and they're horrific.
Right.
I wish I had a clip of him transforming right here. I like the way that he transforms. And he gets super tall, too. But this, I don't think for 1 second this is John Jones. I think it might just be like the X on the suit.
Yeah.
It's just an unfortunate coincidence. But he also has like little shoulder pads, like a military outfit almost would. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm very excited about the tone. I'm very excited about the look and the feel of it. I really, really just prefer like superhero stuff to have the aesthetic and the feel that it's being taken more serious.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Dark Knight trilogy, like whether you like it or not, the Snyderverse stuff, not all of it, but they take comic books and they bring them to the medium of movies, of cinema. They're not simply just taking a comic book and adapting a live action cartoony version for grown kids, which those are fun. They have their place and everything, but not every property needs that. Some of them need to be ran through that filter of realism, that filter of like cinema. And that's what this kind of has, that feel, that HBO, it's not just TV kind of feel to it. I'm really excited for it. What's going on, Retro? Yeah, super excited.
They also announced that supposedly they've already set up a season 2 writing room.
For lanterns?
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
What are these photos? Dude, we got so many pictures of other planets and potential worlds. You know, everyone was like concerned, like it's supposed to be cosmic. Why are they on Earth? Dude, they showed Oa, they showed us the science cells. There's a lot going on in here. A lot going on in here. All right, see what else we got. Other big news announcements. The Clayface trailer dropped, I think, before Comic-Con or at the preview days. What a time to be a nerd. I'm out here working on my cardio because the future is bright. There you go. My man. Well, I guess AR's here. You want to touch on Star Trek?
Star Trek Strange New Worlds is back. Season 4. Episode 1 was this last Thursday. It has 10 episodes in this season, and then next season is the final season, has 6 episodes. But this first episode was just incredible, especially if you like time travel stuff. So it starts off with Christopher Pike is basically he's thrown himself into his role because if you recall at the end of the last season, his girlfriend that he was very into ended up having to they ended up having to split, and so she's gone. So he basically just thrown himself into his work, and they they just keep hopping from mission to mission to mission to mission. So finally, they give him this mission that just says, okay, we're going to send the Enterprise out. All you need to do is just track this intergalactic storm that's out there and just be there. And it's like, just watch it and take some readings and things like that. So they get out there. When they get out there, suddenly it's one of these things though that you really can't go into. You really shouldn't go into because it messes with life support and everything on the and so. But they get there and then suddenly there is a distress signal that's inside this storm. So they end up going into the storm. They get thrown around, and basically what happens is they get thrown, God knows where. And as soon as they're there, they're suddenly grabbed by another ship, and they can't do anything about it because the storm has messed with everything. They don't have any. They only have like impulse power, and they don't have any deflectors or any phasers or anything like that. So they call them over. They call the people over to the thing because they convince them that they have weapons that they could give them, and it ends up being these are Martians. Speaking of Martians, these are Martians. And what they're doing is they end up stealing their matter antimatter core from them because they're going to use it to destroy this planet that's the enemies of them. And so that's what they want to use. So they steal the matter antimatter thing, and they do it, and they basically are gonna just destroy the planet, and that's going to be it. And in the process, they're going to be destroyed as well. And so what happens is as they realize at the time, because when they go down to the planet where they go to, and they realize that they're actually on Earth 65 million years ago. And so they realize that, and what's going to happen is they're going to destroy the 5th planet in our solar system that is attacking the Mars, that are the enemy of the Martians. And Captain Pike realizes that when they do that, they're going to also destroy their own ship because they're going to be in the blast radius. So anyway, they shoot it. They shoot the antimatter towards the planet. As they're doing that, Pike realizes that they could shoot down the antimatter thing before it even gets there. But what he realizes is that as they shoot it, he says, "Hold, don't do anything yet." And he's like, why? And he's like, there is no 5th planet between Earth and Mars. So he realizes that planet needs to be destroyed in order for things to be right in the present. What happens is the antimatter thing destroys the planet. The blast radius sends the Enterprise back to where it came from, and then they realize that the planet that was destroyed, that they were the cause of the meteor that struck the Earth that destroyed the dinosaurs. So basically, It was
They caused it.
they caused it. What happened was
Does that violate their rule?
no, because they didn't do anything. They just so what happened was it's this big paradox is that 65 million years from then, it was their buoy that they had put inside the storm to get themselves to come in, and then the Enterprise is basically responsible for the destruction of dinosaurs and basically the Earth being set in a way that it could sustain human life. So I mean, obviously I didn't do it justice. It really is, but it is just incredible. So far the explanation is about twice as long as the actual episode. Exactly. That's why I said I didn't do it justice, and I didn't even do it justice. But
it's called the Prime Directive, Mark. Let's get with the program. Hey, I try, okay? I try.
Yeah. I think you would like this.
I'm definitely going to watch this episode. I might even watch it tonight and watch House of Dragons later, because I just watched the newest episode earlier today. Despite being on vacation, I fell behind on so much stuff, new comics and watching stuff. Like I wanted to get caught up on X-Men. I wanted to watch X-Men 97. That didn't happen. I wanted to watch Silo. That didn't happen. I ended up just reading a lot of books since I've been home, getting caught up on all my books. And while I was on vacation, all I did was read Nightfall, like all of it. And I'm still excited about that. I hadn't even put those away yet. Still excited about it. There's more books over here I read too. But yeah, I watched that and I mean, this is on me, I guess. I watched that god awful show, Starfleet Academy, but I did watch a few episodes of this show previously, and then just didn't get all of it in. I might just jump to this season and just watch from.
Yeah, it is almost universally accepted among Star Trek fans that the new Star Trek, Strange New Worlds is the best of the new Star Trek.
And I watched a handful of episodes from season 1, and I enjoyed every single one of them. When an Enterprise captain changes time, the most that traditionally happens is a temporal agent will complain.
That's right.
There you go. Oh, man. In other TV shows, outside of House of the Dragon, there's another fantastic show that I think me and Paul binge watched it about the same time, jumped on it, because I remember Austin LeMay recommended it to me years ago. There was a long delay between season 1 and 2, and I watched Silo on Apple TV, and it was fantastic. And since then, me and Paul have been watching it as it comes out, I guess with season 2 and stuff. But season 3 is officially out. How many episodes are out? Just 3, right?
4.
God. Well, I'm 2 episodes in. I managed to watch 2 episodes this weekend. I did a lot this weekend. I read a ton of stuff, watched that, made a lot of videos, which is unusual for me. I'm pretty much down to like 1 a week, but I watched Starfleet Academy for the same reason people watch it. Yeah, it was god awful, dude. But watched the first 2 episodes of Silo, which is fantastic. Juliet is back. We found out what happened when she re-entered the silo with Bernard, and the I don't know what you call them, the decontamination flamethrowers came on, the torch, the little transition room. Poor Bernard, he didn't make it. Well, he did, but then he didn't, which is crazy. Right. We don't have any more context on that hidden room that has like the robotic voice talking to them. We don't know who's behind it, but we have a couple people in the silo keeping the secret that it's there and following the instructions of it. They got Juliet back in. They're forcibly keeping her from having her memories back via medication because they don't want her spreading the information around the silo of what she found out there, the other silo, and news of anything whatsoever. The guy who went down into the bottom, who was the previous Shadow, he is still missing. I can't remember. Did he die?
Lucas Kyle.
Yeah, didn't Lucas get killed?
They didn't actually ever show that he got killed.
Man, because he's the one that cracked all the codes. He has all the answers that we want about. I mean, I forgot what they were even trying to crack the code for, because Bernard got interested in it.
Yeah, he's the one who went down there, and he's the one that stood in front of the voice down there.
You open this, I will kill you all.
Yeah, they will activate the safeguard.
Yeah, just poison and kill everyone in here.
Right. And not only, but in this season 2, we also have everything that's happening in the then. then.
We have officially Tom King this show, and I'm excited. We are now doing dual plots,
Right.
and we don't know if they're in the same time era or not.
Right.
We're left with the assumption that it was like a flashback at the end of season 2 because he gives the girl the gift of the little Ducky Pez dispenser, which we had seen as a relic in the silo.
Mm-hmm.
But then as it's playing out, I'm starting to get they're now creating questions. They're like, yo, was the dirty bomb attack on DC even was it an inside job? I'm like, wait a minute. Is the silo directive just like a test thing? Is this the Village with M. Night Shyamalan happening right now?
And what was the thing that attacked those jets as they were flying over?
Bro, it was like the day the Earth stood still with Keanu Reeves. It was like this black cloud with this techno goo that was dissolving technology. And we found out in the next episode that they were all sitting there Top Gun Maverick style with the old jets with the analog controls to get because you don't want to be attacked on a digital front. You don't want to be detected. But why would you fly right into that cloud? Like go around. That was crazy. But man, great first 2 episodes. Silo is so good, changing a bunch from the books. Uga mascot drugging everyone. It's like I'm back in Athens. The bulldog. Uga. That's funny. Yeah, dude, it's fantastic so far. Well, I got 2 more episodes to go, and technically it'll be 3 by the time we get here next Sunday. So I got 3 episodes of that to watch, 1 of House of the Dragon, and I guess Star Trek. We'll try this again. Maybe it'll be like a good palate cleanser until the next season, the final season of Starfleet Academy. And how long do you think they'll wait to announce the next thing?
They got to go quick, I think, because I don't see how you can not announce something very, very quickly when you've already said that everything you have right now is basically ending.
Yeah, they tore up the sets. They posted pictures. Like, dude, they were proud to do it. They're like, yo, we have demolished these god-awful sets for these shows that everyone's just not feeling. I don't mean to be so negative. It's the overwhelming consensus, though. The overwhelming majority of people that like this show. I understand that. But the overwhelming majority of people as a whole aren't really digging this era of Star Trek, save with the exception of Strange New Worlds. So, I mean, they were kind of proud to put it out there right at the end of Starfleet Academy that they tore up the bridge and took out the set to let everyone know we're done. So I'm of the, and I said this a long time ago. People in the comment section thought I was crazy. I said they're going to cancel this shit and take it back to the movie theater because that's where it belongs in this day and age, at least. Paramount's under new management and they want movies.
But the other thing that I worry about too is there's a couple of things that are going on. Is Paramount and Warner Brothers will now not become one before June 1st of next year.
June 1st. So a little bit to that. That doesn't have any effect on Star Trek because Star Trek's under Paramount.
Correct. But part of what's happening is the guy, Larry Ellison, who owns Google.
Larry Ellison doesn't own. He owns Oracle.
Oracle. Yeah.
He's the father of David Ellison, who owns Skydance Paramount.
He was guaranteeing the $110 million or whatever as part of $1 billion. As right, he just lost a shit ton of money because the Oracle stock is like tanking right now. Yeah,
the AI that we're in right now. You'll remember this very well, and don't take that as a slight. Do you remember the what are the little things in our house called? The little boxes, our internet boxes, Paul.
Routers.
You remember the router bubble back in like Cisco specifically? Back in like 99, how like routers were the new thing and Cisco was like this crazy sky high thing, but then routers became common and it like popped. And we're in a very similar format to that with AI stuff. There's like this race to the top for AI, but once you hit the top, everyone else slowly catches up and comes to the top with you, kind of thing. You know, now we've hit the ceiling of our capability. Like we have this awesome router and we're the only one with this awesome router until other people start making awesome routers. It takes them a little bit longer, but now there's options and stuff. We're kind of in one of those things, but I don't think for one second that Larry Ellison backing this is contingent on the Oracle stock by itself.
But let me finish, because
Yeah, keep going.
there's a last part of it.
Hit me.
Is besides the fact that he is guaranteeing like $110 billion, right? Um, it is now going to cost considerably more for them to merge, because there's a clause in the merger contract
A
that
couple
says
of them.
if it's not done by a particular date, for every week or month, whatever, and I don't know exactly what it is, but the price goes up. They have to pay a penalty, basically,
Yeah.
for every thing that goes by.
Yeah, and I spent a little bit of time looking into this too when they announced it, because a couple of things happened when they announced the pause on the merger. The judge announced it. The first thing that caught my attention is that Paramount came out with an official statement immediately saying, "No problem. This is actually something we expected. We're actually considerably happy about this. We will finish the merger June 1st, 2027. So the judge said, pause. We don't know if you're allowed to do this. And Paramount said, no problem. We'll do it June 1st then. They didn't say, okay, we'll see you in court. They said, no problem. We'll finish it June 1st. And then if you go look at the full statement, there's different levels to this with these clauses that they're able to goodwill keep slowly merging different aspects of it where they don't have to pay that money because of this legalese that's written into it. And they're happy to do this apparently because it gives them a direct straight to it. Once we go through this, we don't have to deal with nothing else, finalize the merger kind of thing. So it's apparently something they're prepared for, and they're not prepared or expecting to pay Warner Brothers any of that delayed money.
Well, I would expect them to say that. I would not expect them to say,
yeah, 100%.
Oh shit, like, you guys can't do this to us. But it's only going to be June 1st if there's a trial that goes, or a settlement. If a trial happens, is over and done with, and is ruled in their favor, or if it's a settlement somewhere before June 1st. If the trial goes beyond June 1st, then they're not going to do it on June 1st.
Yeah. Well, I personally, from the stuff that I go to and look at to try to get any kind of understanding on this stuff, because clearly I don't have any kind of law degree nor understand the details of what they got. But they apparently are not concerned about it whatsoever right now. And the basis for the lawsuit, apparently, like, again, I don't know, the people that are crying foul and file the lawsuit are doing it on the basis of that it kills competition, it drives prices up for people on the couch, and it's kind of very layman's term stuff. There's no legal nothing. It's like 4 different points of very layman term stuff. And Paramount is like, dude, we're not concerned with any of these concerns. It's stuff that it's literally surface level stuff that we've all brought up in concern and stuff and everything.
And the European Union cleared them.
Yeah, everywhere overseas cleared them already.
I don't know if England has yet. I thought there was one more. England on its own, because they're separate from the European Union, obviously, so they need to make their own decision.
Shout out to Brexit.
Yeah, exactly. Which now they're trying to say, well, maybe we want to be back.
Bring us back.
Exactly. Yeah, they're knocking on the door saying, "Can we come back inside?"
I think as soon as
I
think that's one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like when they were in the EU, they're like, get us out of here. And I mean, the vote passed by such a small margin, but then when they separated, like, get us back in here. And as soon as they get back in there, they're going to be like, get us out of here.
Right.
I think it's going to be like politics over here. Whoever's in control, all you hear is the most complaining about the people in control. So they switch to the other people, and then they're just as bad. Then you switch to the other people, and then can't win for losing. Let's see. Has the UK cleared the Paramount merger? I'm curious because I saw a list of a bunch of places that did. The UK cleared the original Skydance Paramount merger with major public issues. That's not the right one. That's Skydance. And what about? Shout out to Grok, by the way. The WB merger. Proposed acquisition. And the final verdict. No, the UK has not cleared the Warner Bros. Discovery merger with Paramount Skydance. Not yet. The CMA is still in phase 1 investigation stage. The deadline for the CMA to decide is August 7th. So we'll know in like within 2 weeks or within a week and a half. Mm-hmm. Merge and release the Batgirl movie. So at this point, I'm for the merger at this point. Like, you know, like when this all started, Paul, it was one of those things, in a perfect world, it stays its own company. But that's not an option. Unfortunately for us fans, we talked about it a long time ago. Growing up, I'm an 80s baby. Growing up in the 90s, there were two kind of kids. You were either a Disney kid or you were a Warner Brothers kid, Looney Tunes, Batman, Superman. I was a Warner Brothers kid my whole life. I'm a Warner Brothers adult. Obviously, like a lot of our fandoms have to do with Warner Brothers, whether it be the comic stuff and hell, even a lot of the movies we talk about and everything, the animated feature films. Like, it's just, I'm a Warner Brothers kid. I'm naturally drawn to that stuff. I don't want to see that company dissolve. I don't want to see a world where that logo isn't on that water tower. I don't want to see a world where Looney Tunes don't exist. That's sad to me. I'm a very nostalgic person, but knowing that Warner Brothers is selling, it's nothing new. We watched them, Ted Turner era. We watched the AT&T era, the Discovery merger, which I've actually loved that they merged with Discovery. It brought so much good content onto HBO Max. I'm a big Alaskan Bush People fan. I'm almost done with it, Paul. 14 seasons, my man. But it's not that world. So out of the options they gave us, you know, Universal, Paramount, Netflix, I think that I was team Paramount from the get-go. It's like the next most iconic studio. And ultimately, I think they're trying to umbrella it. I don't think, you know, they're going to own it, but much like Skydance merged with Paramount. Skydance still exists, and they have no desire to make Skydance not exist. It's like Disney owning ABC and the MCU, and they own countless things, but all those countless things still exist. They're compartmentalized. And by doing that, it protects your big company. If Paramount compartmentalizes WB and all this stuff, one can fail and the rest still survive.
And we complain about almost everything they do.
Which one, Disney?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because they suck, man. But I look at Paramount. I like their Transformers stuff. Mm-hmm. You know, I love their Transformers stuff. I'm one of the few people that absolutely love it. I love the movies they put out. Like the Top Gun was great. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff is great. They do a lot of great programs for kids and everything. My kids watch a lot of stuff on there. I don't have any inherent problems with Paramount, their platform. And I just don't. They did a lot of the Mission Impossible stuff, man. Come on. Like, what are we talking about? Why would, like, the people that wanted Netflix to win it, I think were coming from a different place of just thinking industry wise. And that's okay. That's fair. People approach these different ways. A lot of people that are against the Paramount thing are thinking in terms of political stuff. And I get that too. There's also some legitimate concerns, like with the stuff outside of the movies. You know, there's television programming, the news programming. I'm of a mindset, I'm a little bit younger, that I don't give two shits about NBC, CBS, CNN, ABC News. I don't care about any of those news organizations, because from my age down, none of us even pay attention to those. None of us get our news from them. And every year, less and less people do, except for Fox News. I think that their numbers are always up. They're a one-stop shop for conservative news, but the rest of them are pretty left or far left. So the people, like, it gets watered down kind of thing with where people get their news. But this day and age, people don't even get their news from them. So I don't think any of that really matters. I don't think there's any monopoly on news, because no one's getting their news from them. But that's a legitimate concern if, like, it was a couple of decades ago. And I think it's a legitimate concern now. I just don't think it has the impact it would if it was a couple of decades ago. That would be crisis level 1984 type stuff if this was like 30 years ago. Mm-hmm. But luckily, the internet is where everyone gets their news now. YouTube, independent news sites on there, and they do great reporting on a lot of them. A lot of them are entertaining too, but we'll see what happens. We'll see how fast it gets done. Let's take a gentleman's bet now. Do you think it'll make it to June 1st, before June 1st, or after June 1st, or at all? Because if it doesn't happen, they'll just break it up into pieces and sell pieces to the highest bidder across the board, right?
They could, yeah. I also read that I think Zaslav just sold a whole bunch of shares, like $60 million worth of shares or something like that.
Oh, they're about
Warner
to tank
Brothers.
it. Holy shit. The share's about to go out the window, bro. That dude is so rich. If you think it's a hellish landscape, man, we just need to spend some time working on your perspective of things. You might just need to tailor your algorithm a little bit. Paul can attest. We have a lot of conversations. I watch a lot of hellscape type content, but that ain't all I get. And it's gotta see the forest through the trees sometimes, my guy. Gots to. But yeah, Zaslav unloading socks, that's never a good sign.
Right. Yeah.
Ever.
Did
you do it after or before Supergirl's box office numbers?
I just read it like yesterday, I think it was. So
yeah.
I'm gonna say it's gonna go at least to June 1st.
I'm thinking they'll make it. Dude, at this point in time, I think that their lawyers are stronger than the lawyers that are on the filing the complaint side. I think that they went into this prepared for this. So as of right now, I don't, it's lawyer shit. So it has nothing to do with ethics or right or wrong. It has to do with who has more money and who has more skill. And I think that Paramount was able to be more prepared in this situation. So that gives them the edge no matter what. I would say that they make an official announcement that it's done beforehand, but they book it right on June 1st. And I think that all these little exclusionary clauses will keep them from having to pay out. Mm-hmm. But we'll end up learning more about that as we go. Once we start hitting deadlines, they'll start.
If they do it, it's pretty substantial numbers in the.
It's huge. It could kill Paramount.
Right.
Yeah, it could literally bankrupt Paramount just giving their money to Warner Brothers. It'd be crazy. But yeah, there's the clause. I'll next week. I'll try to figure out more details on those clauses and things. There's all kinds of like little business podcasts and stuff that I listen to that talk about these things and break them down week by week. Wednesdays are business news Wednesdays on the podcast I listen to. Like one of the news podcasts I listen to every week is on like Monday and Wednesday and Fridays. And Wednesday is dedicated to just like business stuff. And they talk about like they always cover like the Paramount Warner Brothers thing when it's happening, or the price of oil and stuff with Texas Intermediate and futures and all that stuff. That's how I can predict gas prices in my town and stuff like that. Kyle messages me, he's like, hey, is this a good gas price? I'm like, no, wait till tomorrow, because this was just happened today and it'll go down 10 cents tomorrow. We already have good gas prices here.
Yeah.
But I filled up for under $3 a gallon before we went on vacation.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it usually when the price of like a barrel of oil goes up, gas goes up almost immediately. When it goes down, it takes a couple of days for it to come down.
Yeah, at least a couple of days. So much so that the president made a public post about 2 weeks ago calling out all the gas stations saying, lower your price of gas now. This is predatory, or I'm going to do something about it, which they actually lowered them pretty quick. But then he started bombing Iran again. So it went right back up 10 cents. Like, bro, chill.
Exactly.
Get it over with, man.
Yeah. We were talking about Disney. Let's talk about Disney since we're still talking about SDCC. So they announced.
Let's hit AR's thing real quick. History of media is artists, journalists gain authenticity and money rights to use it. Newspaper era, news TV era, and now social media. Remember, Paramount Studios is under the same umbrella as TikTok. Yeah, Larry Ellison is one of the co-owners, I believe, of TikTok, right? He's one of the people that came in, which what a grift. Like, first, y'all know I'm an advocate against TikTok from the communist time era of TikTok. Because the communist time era of TikTok, I'm not for it. That's just stupid. We're never going to live in a world in our lifetime where we don't spy and screw with other countries and they don't spy and screw with us. TikTok was a blatant way for them to spy and screw with you and get your data. Data is the modern day gold. Mm-hmm. And when they said, you can't have TikTok here, this is how you can have it here. You have to sell it to American gold miners. And I'm like, dude, like 6 1/2 dozen the other. I'm not actively volunteering on an app that mines this hard with your data. That's crazy. But Larry Ellison was one of the people that stepped in and put up money to keep a TikTok in America. He basically paid for data, as the other people that did. That's why we get stupid ads on our phones. I could spend an hour talking about how gas prices changes off the price of oil. Short answer, prices usually don't go down till the stations get their next stock of fuel. And here's a fun one, Sledge. None of the stations get any of their fuel from the Middle East. None of it. None of that fuel from Iran or none of that oil from Iran comes here for our gasoline. None of it. Zero. So it's just futures, man. They're all betting against futures for oil. A lot of it has to do with like other stuff that they manufacture with oil. The entire world, this laptop I'm on, this microphone plastic, it's all oil. But yeah, the whole fuel thing is a grift. They got us. They got us. But going back over to Disney, I made a fun video about Comic-Con. And my favorite part was the thumbnail I made. And it was, I don't think I have it here, but it was my favorite thing ever to make it. Let me see if I can pull it up for you, Paul. Because it made me smile so big. Made me smile so big.
That thumbnail, that picture goes back a few years.
Very much so. And it's been used as a meme for a long time. And it has made my day getting to do this. Because this is exactly the energy that came out of San Diego Comic-Con this year. And I was very excited to see that the energy was really being driven by the announcements for the comic books themselves. San Diego Comic-Con started out as a comic book convention. And this year, I almost feel like for 2 years running, the comics were most of the news that came out of it. Most of the hype. Most of the energy was off the announcement of all these DC Next Level books, the absolute stuff. But there's always Hall H. Hall H is famously the big hall where they make the biggest announcements for the stuff and things like the movies. They show the trailers. They bring out your big celebrities and stuff. I'm not sure if that's where they held the Green Lantern stuff on Friday, but Saturday evening for years now seems like it's been the place to be if you're an MCU fan. If you're there for the Marvel Cinematic Universe news, you want to be there in Hall H. And this year was no different because Kevin Feige came out. Everyone got all exciteds and stuff. They got big exciteds. And they talked about stuff like Avengers Doomsday. They rolled out the actors and actresses attached to that, talked about it. We have all the news for that. We got all the stuff. They showed a new trailer with a little bit of different footage in it and stuff. But I'll tell you right now, I've been watching Avengers Doomsday stuff for the last 6 months on X. All the leaks and everything, they're all accurate. All the final trailers, the polished ones come out. It's the same stuff. And so they did that, but that wasn't the big thing. The big thing was when the lights went out, you heard an engine roar, and this came up on the screen right here. Ghost Rider. They're finally doing Ghost Rider in the MCU. And I got mixed feelings about it. Ghost Rider is my second favorite Marvel character behind the Incredible Hulk. I absolutely love Ghost Rider. And the big thing attached to it was Ryan Gosling will be playing Ghost Rider. We don't know what version of Ghost Rider. This has been a long time rumor and fan casting. Ryan's been in interviews and stuff talking about how he would love to do it, X, Y, and Z, and he repeated that sentiment on stage. But that's their next film project that'll be coming out after Avengers Doomsday, as will Black Panther 3, where we will have Black Panther's son Toussaint, aka T'Challa.
It'll be coming out after Avengers Secret Wars.
Secret Wars, yeah, that's what I meant. Secret Wars after the reset, after whatever they do to which is interesting because I've been saying we need to hard reset this thing for years, and I don't think they're going to. I think it's going to be some form of a soft reset. I don't know if they'll be recasting a Captain America, an Iron Man, a Thor. We know we're getting our whole X-Men roster with or after Secret Wars. Ghost Rider will be after Secret Wars, but doing a Black Panther 3 with your same returning cast and a grown-up T'Challa's son taking on the mantle, that throws a little bit of a curveball into what I think there's a story continuity-wise. I'm not sure what they're going to do, but I'm excited for this one. I have my concerns. They announced that Sean Levy will be directing it. Sean Levy, famous for recently doing Deadpool Wolverine, Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds, the Night at the Museum series, Internship with Owen Wilson. He's kind of a comedy director, comedy action director at times, and that's not Ghost Rider.
Right.
Sean Levy's also done the Adam Project and Real Steel, which is a little bit different.
Right. And he's doing the next Star Wars movie with Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, so that was the joke. Like, hey guys, while you're here, can you also we got this
Can you make
Ghost
a Ghost
Rider?
Rider movie while we're doing it?
Yeah, hey,
They
put on a
probably already
sling.
filmed half of it.
Pretty interesting stuff. They did not officially announce which Ghost Rider is going to be. If you're a Ghost Rider fan, you know that logo right there is from the 1990s Danny Ketch Ghost Rider series, which I think that they would be a good idea to do Danny Ketch. You can still have Johnny Blaze in there as Blaze, his semi-mentor companion through the series. You can open up the window to do a lot more stuff. There's so much more lore with the Danny Ketch era. It gets a little bit darker. I really hope they take this in a direction similar to the formula that they're using for Clayface. Do a modest budget. You don't need a $200 million movie. Hell, you don't need a $150 million movie. Give them $60 million. Tell them to make a Ghost Rider movie. And just, if you make $250 million, you have a mega hit on your hands financially. Aim for the Ghost Rider fans and make a couple $100 million. Don't have to, if you have to make $600 million to break even, you are an idiot. You are an idiot and you are failing your studio and you're failing your fans because that affects the future projects. There's no reason any of this should cost that much. And hopefully the Clayface is like a learning curve for it and stuff. But I'm assuming the budget's already set. They're already agreed to deals with directors and stars and stuff. So I don't know what it can be. Yeah, director of, I got some slides, Taylor, because I made a bunch of videos, man. They're already available for channel members with early access. But he's made hit movies such as The Night at the Museum, which I love every single one of those, even the cartoon that they made for it. Deadpool Wolverine, Free Guy, The Internship with Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson, which I love. That's a hilarious movie if you've never seen it. The Atom Project and Real Steel, another fantastic movie. I don't think that there's a miss in his whole cinematography. I don't think he's missed anything.
Mm-hmm.
But is he going to be able to do Ghost Rider?
Yeah. And I also would expect that there will be D23 happens August 14th, 15th, and 16th. So
yeah,
I would expect that we would get a lot more announcements about what's happening after Avengers Secret Wars. Probably then.
You want to know what's pretty cool? Like getting into the leaks and stuff. There's been a Ghost Rider leak from Industrial Light and Magic up on X for like a month now, man. For a long time. It's like the early CG footage, the same footage of Doctor Doom bringing the Sentinels to life.
Mm-hmm.
Like that same, oh, there it is. Got it. So this like 2-second clip has been up, or 1-second clip has been up for a hot minute with all the same little watermarks and timestamps. This is the same stuff that was on the initial unfinished fight scene with the little group of X-Men and a couple of Avengers with Doom raising the Sentinels and fighting. So a lot of us have, I mean, you don't know. You never know until you know. You know what I mean? But a lot of us have seen this for a minute. Looking at the bike in this, I mean, it's unfinished, but you can still see the general shape. You don't see like the classic Danny Ketch bike. So if this is like happening at some point in Doomsday or Secret Wars, which I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up in Secret Wars. You know, I don't know about Doomsday, but when you get to Secret Wars and it's like all hands on deck, kind of like the end of the Flash movie where you're seeing characters not even associated with the story, just incursion this, incursion that. Like maybe it pops and shows this world for a second and there's the world's breaking and there's an explosion happening in the background. And he's just driving away. Who knows? Maybe he rolls in like that Fantastic Four cartoon. He rolls in and just out of nowhere face downs Doom and just Pennant stares him and wins the movie for everybody. That would be dope. He did that in the Fantastic Four cartoon. They couldn't stop Galactus, and Ghost Rider just shows up on random. They're like, yo, what's up? He's like, I got this. It's cool stuff. But look at that. Big explosion in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's gone. Yeah, but that's been up for a long time now. Well, what's the date on that? Well, this one's recent. This one's June 28th. So that's from just right out a month ago. But that's how long this is. These leaks have been happening and stuff. It's pretty wild. I will be a huge whiner if they don't reference Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Ghost Rider. Dude, it's not canon.
Mm-hmm.
As of right now, it's not canon. Burke, what's happening? Did that Burke Legion box show up? TW. Oh yeah, TW won the Tuesday giveaway while I was on vacation while we were in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, that's where I'm at. Dude, if you make this an action comedy, dude, you're just failing. Like, that's crazy. If Marvel hasn't learned their lesson by now, I say it in my Ghost Rider video, it'll be out Wednesday, unless you're a channel member with early access, it's out now. Please learn from your mistakes. We're done with the copy, paste, fast food cinema, make everything on the volume. It has to look different. It has to feel different. Give us something new. Finally, please, for the love of God, please give us something new. And this is a great place to start. Ghost Rider has such a separate tone from the other stuff in the MCU. They had an opportunity with Moon Knight. They almost did it if it didn't suck. It had a little bit of a darker tone to it. It was just, I mean, it was a TV show too, so you get a little bit of a pass, but it just didn't do it. The Man Thing was even a little bit comical, but that was different. That was original. It was stylized. That Man Thing one shot that they did, Werewolf by Night, that was great because they leaned into its own tone and style for that. Do that. It's not hard. Do that. We're now at that point in the DCU that James Gunn was talking about. Wow, it's so fun that we get to build this universe from scratch with all these different visions and styles and stuff. And, you know, I've been critical of everything being James Gunn, and I'm excited to get past it. We're past it. Lanterns is here. Clayface is around the corner. Neither of those things resemble remotely anything we've got before or each other. So they need to do that with the MCU again already. Holy crap, Blank Check. I remember that one from my childhood. That grown woman ended up kissing that little kid at the end. Yeah, Blank Check. This little kid finds a literal blank check on the ground and writes himself a check for $1 million, so he's rich for the rest of his life now. It was a fiction, by the way, and and the people that are out to get it and get him, there's this hot lady, of course, and he was hitting on her the whole time, and she's like, "You're a kid," but at the end, she gives him a kiss on the lips as a goodbye. Wouldn't fly in 2026. She should be in jail. A lot. Yeah, Eurotrip, no, would not make it. What's going on, Kev? Man Thing is one of my favorite things the MCU ever did. Yeah, my kids even love that. What? That Werewolf by Night thing Marvel did in black and white, where they're in the haunted house and they're monster hunting in the gardens on the grounds.
It started amongst scary movies.
I might have. Maybe they learned their lesson. People, myself included, loved Wonder Man. Oh, yeah. Wonder Man was great. Great example, T-Dubs.
Yeah, he got nominated for an Emmy, I believe.
If Apple TV made an MCU project, you would get Wonder Man.
Mm-hmm.
It was great, start to finish. Presenting Dr. 8131. What is happening? Hey, I know I missed it, but what are the thoughts about the Absolute Batman McFarlane? Is it a statue? $250 is steep, but have you all heard anything? That's the resin statue, recreating the image from Absolute Batman #1 is what you're referring to. Also coming this year, because the license ends at the end of the year, is a 7-inch Absolute Batman McFarlane articulated figure from the DC Multiverse Wave. That'll be a Walmart exclusive. It'll come with an alternate head gas mask that he used and wore in the issues featuring Poison Ivy. I believe it'll come with the chainsaw. So that I will own. The resin 250 statue is a great deal for a statue. McFarlane makes some good ones. Hard pass.
If it does not come with being able to take the thing out of his chest, it's like,
you have failed this city.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's this company called InArt Toys, INART, I believe that's what it was. They have the Absolute Batman figure of the show. That's the one that's featured in the thumbnail here. Hyper articulated, like you can bend that chest joint all the way down. His heels come up and touch the back of his thigh, like super hyper articulated. Every piece of the cape is its own wired. That thing's probably gonna be like 200 bones. 200 bones. I can't wait. Lanterns looks phenomenal. The actor who plays Daryl Dixon needs to be in the MCU. His edge is needed. Norman Reedus plays Daryl Dixon. He also famously played one of the brothers in the Boondock Saints next to Sean Patrick Flannery. I like Norman Reedus. Norman Reedus does good as Daryl. I think Norman Reedus has got a little bit of age on him now. I don't know who he'd necessarily play in the MCU, but I was kind of talking about that with Ryan Gosling with the Ghost Rider role. I heard someone make a comment, or I saw a comment where someone said he seems too old to play Danny Ketch. Ryan Gosling, despite whatever number is next to his age, whatever his driver's license says, looks young enough. Like, remember the Barbie movie?
Mm-hmm.
Dude looks young enough. He can play Danny Ketch. Danny Ketch is not a child. Loaders, what is happening here late? What is your favorite DC announcement, Mark? Oh, happy to refresh you. It's Jonah Hex, the 6-issue limited series by Michael Walsh, writer, artist for that. I'm very excited for that. I really enjoy Jonah Hex, like Western stuff. That's been a topic a lot lately because of the Supergirl thing. Paul, what's your favorite announcement? Doesn't have to be comics, just DC announcement across the board.
Yeah, I think I'm really looking forward to the Demon, actually.
Yeah. Very nice. Everyone in the comment section, if you want to share. Absolute Green Lantern is why I don't ever see DC making that universe their canon universe. It stinks compared to DC canon universe. Also, Absolute Martian Manhunter, obviously, LOL. Yeah, that was a conversation that was had during Dark Side versus the World. I'm looking forward to that. Dude, I read the Superman annual for next week.
Yeah.
Remember when we got done and said, I'm going to head up to the store.
Yeah.
I went up there and I picked up some stuff I'll show you here in a minute that I had in my box that I didn't pick up earlier in the week. I called back up there, had FOMO, like, hey, throw these in my box. I'm going to get them after all. But I went and read the Superman annual for next week. Wow. I'll leave it at that. Wow. It's solicited as you get to see what happened to Clark after DCKO and all the way up until Action Comics 1100 and the most recent issue of Superman, specifically the final issue with Prime headlining. But you also get the next piece of the Zod thing that got introduced this week. And you get the first preview pages for Legion of Superheroes in it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there's a lot in there, man. It's really good. It's a fifth week release week coming up, so we get a lot of annuals. So a lot of thick boy comic books. Mm-hmm. Tentatively, Doom Patrol. I like the design for Robot Man and Doom Patrol. I like that he's huge.
The thing I'm most looking forward to is Legion of Superheroes. But of the announcements that were made this weekend, they probably would have been the Demon.
Yeah, I guess because Legion's not new, right?
Right.
They gave us new stuff for it. Anything Superman has been top notch for the last 3+ years. I would argue since PKJ. Yeah, since PKJ took it over and just righted the ship, man. Righted the ship. Ryan Gosling got to the fountain of youth. Yeah, him and Paul Rudd. They seem to not age like the rest of us. Bum, 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 bum. Oh yeah. This was a conversation we were having in a chat earlier this week. Kind of the conversation was crisscrossing a couple of things. The topic of public domain right around the corner for certain characters, primarily Superman and Batman. For those that don't know, things that are, trademarked? Mm-hmm. It's not copyright. Copyright stays, but trademark.
Right.
Things that are trademarked are owned by, like Superman is owned by DC Comics. Well, after X number of years, anybody can make a Superman book and sell it for profit. Anyone right now can make their own Superman book and give it away. You can't sell it for profit, though. But in just, 7 short years, you'll be able to make your own Superman books and sell them. Just like how recently Steamboat Willie, Winnie the Pooh, Pinocchio, and other different literary characters are now getting their own horror movies and this and that because they hit public domain. Similar to Frankenstein, the Wolfman, Dracula, anybody can make content, movies, books, stories with these characters and sell them for profit. Superman is right around the corner and Batman hot on his heels. And this is something that I was talking about a few months ago with Durs, of all people. And I've talked about it with Pops. I think we even mentioned it with each other before, but it got mentioned. I brought it up in that chat that DC is doing such a strong push with this absolute stuff because inevitably all these characters are about to hit public domain, and what's going to happen is someone's going to have a more entertaining version than DC. The same old thing that people, despite liking it, like I love the main universe Superman, but they dropped absolute Superman and I love it too. Well, what happens when somebody who's not associated with DC drops their Superman and I freaking love it too? And then the next person, I'm going to want to read these things. I might want to check them out. It's going to get to the point where you have to start culling your pool list, and DC isn't the only game in town. So it looked like they were wanting to really hedge their bets and push this absolute universe, and they've done it successfully. But an aspect of it, and this is stuff that they talk about at their board meetings. These are topics that any company talks about. Hell, Disney talked about it so much that they went to court and was able to convince the courts to extend the lifeline of their public domain stuff and hold Mickey Mouse for even longer. That's how important it was for them. So things like that happen. And I said, and I was talking to Pops, that I can envision a world where if the absolute line continues to be the dominant line, like Paul pointed out, Steve, if Absolute Batman alone was its own publishing company, it'd be the fourth largest one. Not the absolute lines, just Batman by itself. If it's more advantageous for DC to sell and market the absolute line first and foremost, I can picture a world where they just drop the absolute title off of it. If it's their primary books that they sell, that people buy, that everything's around, we already have an animated show coming out for it, I can see them putting a different tagline on their main universe books that says like Earth One or Classic or Original or something like that. Because ultimately you'd be saving money trimming down your main stuff and putting that effort on your other stuff. But I don't think it would be crazy to see that happen whatsoever. I don't think we're at that point.
Right.
But if it continues to go this way, they continue to expand the absolute line, people will start dropping other DC books to buy more absolute books. And what happens when you're selling 80% absolute and only 20% main books? That's your main universe now. That's it.
Yeah. In answer presenting Doctor's question, he asks, presenting Doctor 8131, he asks if it's all versions. It's like, no, it's not. It's basically the 1938 version. So, there won't be a Daily Planet yet because it wasn't a Daily Planet in 1938. He won't be able to fly.
No heat vision.
Exactly. So what happens is as years go on, and those things then join the list of things that have been trademarked for 95 years, those will then be available to be used by people as well. It's kind of like the same way, like with Mickey Mouse, they could really only do the Steamboat Willie Mickey Mouse
for now.
Right?
Yeah. So if Superman first appeared in 1938, you can only use the version that appeared in 1938. If he first flew in 1940, that means 2 years after he goes into public domain, 2 years later, Flight will go into public domain. And then whenever all of it will trickle into public domain in the same gap that it was introduced in.
Yeah. I think the biggest threat to the absolute universe is going to be as soon as one of the creators leaves a title and they get a new creator on it.
Say that again.
I think the biggest threat to the absolute line will be, okay, you know what? Suddenly Scott Snyder is not going to write Absolute Batman anymore. What happens?
It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
I'm ready for a different writer to get on Green Lantern.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready for a different writer to write Absolute Martian Manhunter. Oh, wait, it's coming. Jason Aaron to save us all.
Right.
All right, I'm going to share this with y'all. Let's see. This is something that I saw a long time ago. I'm a big Miller World fan, big Mark Miller fan. He stepped away from social media not long ago. It looked like he got really more involved in social media as he was getting his books out. The writer's strike stopped the flow of what they were doing at Netflix. They had the Magic Order in development that got put on the back burner. And in the time of the writer's strike with the film and TV stuff, he managed to publish like 7 different books, a lot of which we've been waiting years for. But when it got to the point of that getting over and him switching back to gears, he kind of stepped away from social media. And I guess he's getting more active back in the studio and stuff. But in his time, this is from April 15th, 2024. This is how long this has been on not just Mark Miller's radar, our radar, and even longer on DC's radar. Mark Miller said publicly that he's writing public domain Superman, and he's talking about it, how not only has he already has his Superman story actively in writing, it's almost ready. This gives him enough time between now and it releasing to get the very, very best artist he can to have it ready for the day that it goes into public domain. He will release this book. It will be completely finished, just waiting. to be first in line. Mark Miller famously brought us Superman Red Son. Like this guy, this is what people forget about. It's not just Tom, Dick, and Harry get to write a Superman story and sell it to their Instagram audience or their YouTube audience. No, actual comic book pros that work in the industry that are living legends are ready to write public domain Superman.
You could easily have a DC and a Marvel Superman book on the shelf at the same time.
This is the threat. This is why Absolute Line is so important to DC. Because when Mark Miller brings us his Superman, there's a fair to good chance it's going to be better than what's on the shelves that day. It's probably going to be the book of the week. It's probably going to be on top 10 lists. It's going to be on the key collector list. It's going to be trending. Everyone's going to want to get it because it's going to be the first non-DC Superman. It's going to be historic. That's the threat that people are forgetting. And there's a lot of creators out there like that. Think how many people are good writers, but they can't quite crack their own character or reach an audience. If only I could do something that gets my name out there to a big audience. Oh, making my own Superman book at public domain release, and then people look up my name and see my other stuff that just doesn't have traction. There's so much more to this. Who's going to publish it? Mark Miller will publish it. What do you mean who's going to publish it? It's public domain.
Mm-hmm.
He'll self-publish it. He self-publishes already. Who published Psycho Sam? Who published Conquered? Those are his two most recent. Do it, Taylor. I'm backing Taylor. You have it ready, Taylor. We will promote it here. We got you, my guy.
And the answer is to Anthony Mandano is they did, but there's a law that says that once it gets to 95 years, you can't just re-up it.
You can only re-up for so long. 95 years is the limit. It's this American law.
Right. Which is why, to Mark's point, anyone can make a Frankenstein movie. Anyone, every year somebody else does a Christmas Carol movie.
Yeah, we're getting Ebenezer.
You're getting Ebenezer this year, yeah.
Yeah. Who is that? That's Ty West is directing it, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
I love Mark Miller. Best artist to do the artist job, Gary Frank or Dan Mora. Dude, both of those would be killer. I think I wouldn't want either of them to do it, though, because both of them have done Superman. Great respect and for a long time and are still actively both. You're getting stuff from them both pretty well. Dan Mora consistently, Gary Frank every now and then he's all over at Ghost Machine. But I would love Mark Miller's great at finding him and Rob Liefeld both are great at finding talent for people who aren't out there already working, like pulling up people with them. Mark Miller always gets all kinds of great names. He had Raphael Albuquerque did Huck Volume 1 and 2 recently here.
And if Dan Mora is still working for DC, he won't do it because he's not going to burn his bridge.
Do it, Steve. Do it.
Batman goes into this question. Batman goes into the following year, 39.
39, yeah.
So Superman was 38, Batman was 39, Captain America I think was 40.
41
at the latest. So every once we start having these heroes, it'll be one after another. But you'll have, Green Lantern will come up, but it'll be the Alan Scott Green Lantern. It won't be the Hal Jordan Green Lantern because that'll take much longer time, because it was 20 some years after that or whatever it was.
All right, let me see if this thing will pop up on here. This is an image that I had previously, was looking at, having a lot of fun with it because this public domain thing has been going around in my head for a while. And in conversations, me and Lynx were looking at it for reasons that won't get into. Maybe it's for curing cancer-related reasons. Paul, that should make perfect sense for you because we do the art book thing. But yeah, here's a little thing of public domain characters that on the timeline scale here. Now, I wish I could make it bigger. Let me see if I can make it bigger on my end and read it. So yeah, in 2024, you got Steamboat Willie. In 2023, you had Popeye. In 2026, Betty Boop and Pluto. 2028, you get Goofy. 2029, here we go. Donald Duck in color And King Kong goes into public domain in 2029. Now, does it make sense why Legendary redefined King Kong with their own version and really push King Kong? Why do we get so much King Kong in our Godzilla movies? Because he's a public domain character. They're trying to dominate the market and make him iconically theirs before it happens. You can see when you start looking at this and seeing it, you'll see companies have been actively working to beat public domain for a minute now. But I don't think you're going to beat the Legendary take on King Kong for a while. I mean, you have the classic one, but that Legendary take is fantastic. 2032 Snow White. Look at there. Disney tried to put out their Snow White movie right before public domain by a couple years. Totally failed, but you see where they did it. Superman in 2034, Batman and Bugs Bunny right after that. Captain America and the Joker in 2036, Wonder Woman in 37, Bambi in 38. It's awesome. I mean, it's just competition breeds quality, and you're about to be seeing the best Superman stories ever written coming up soon, dude. It's going to be crazy. Oh, man. Sean Gordon Murphy would be a good one. The White Knight series that he did with Batman is exceptional. And it wasn't toward the end of it, that final volume, that they started teasing Superman and stuff. Then beyond the White Knight, we really didn't get into a lot of Superman. When does Public Domain by Chip Zdarsky enter public domain? I'm not sure. Probably in like 200 years. 2034, 37 are going to be defining time for DC. Yeah. And it's not on here, but Namor should be right there. Captain America, the original Human Torch, Vision, stuff like that. The Golden Age versions of them. The original... what was that guy's name? Destroyer. A lot of great timely comics era people. There we go. What up, Nasty?
What to do, boys?
Yeah, there we go. Exactly. If they thought Namor came out the same year, quite possibly. This is just a cover of something. This is just an image. So Namor, Cap, Human Torch, Toro, Destroyer. A lot of those timely era, pre-Marvel timely era, pre-Atlas timely era. One day will become Marvel characters. Yeah. Those Winnie the Pooh horror movies are the best stories ever. Well, there's no Winnie the Pooh competition out there. DC is actively putting out Superman stuff. They're going to be competing. There's roller coasters named after this guy, my guy. 2034 for Namor. Steve, what's happening, my man?
What's going on, boys? How you guys doing?
Good. Talking public domain. I'm going to show off some books. And ain't much left. How's life?
You know, my wife's home finally. A couple things happening in the family, but
yeah,
we're here.
Oh yeah. What's your take on public domain Superman?
What's my take on it?
Just in general thoughts, concerns, excitements, just yeah.
I don't know if I'm excited about it that much, to be honest with you. I think it presents an interesting battle for DC to figure out what they're going to do. I do agree with what you guys are saying. Like the Absolute line definitely helps, but I mean, there's all sorts of other things that have happened. Like Silver Age for DC has probably their biggest characters. And I think it helps Marvel in the fact that, Spider-Man, which is their biggest character, wasn't created until the 60s. So they have a long time until that's even coming close to public domain. So I don't know, man. I don't know how much I have to worry about it right now, but I would imagine that they're still talking about it to figure out what they can do.
Just think, man, just like there was a Steamboat Willie horror movie, a Mickey Mouse horror movie. I know we already had Brightburn, but some indie horror company's going to have like a Man of Tomorrow, Man of Steel. Because I believe that despite Superman entering the public domain, there's certain key aspects about him that you're still legally not going to be allowed to use. I don't believe you can use the S symbol on his chest. I don't believe you can use the name Superman, because though the character is trademarked, those things are copyrighted, and the copyrights aren't running out. There's different aspects to it.
It's definitely a tricky legal aspect for sure.
I'm just excited to see how it goes. At the end of the day, I'm a DC guy, so I'm still going to be supporting my DC stuff. If Mark Miller, when Mark Miller drops his, I will be there to get it day one, all the variants, all everything, and I hope he's first to market with it, because I love Mark Miller.
I was just asking, like, who is going to print it? Like, or is he just going to find a printer near his house to print it, and then ship it out to people, or is he just going to go to like a company and say, "Hey, pay me X amount of dollars and you guys print it"? You know what I mean? That's what I was asking.
He self-publishes. He has his own thing.
He could probably just do Kickstarter, honestly.
Let's see. I'll tell you who. But Psychic Sam. Let's see who. SHC. SHC Publishing is who he did Psychic Sam through. He has his own stuff. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't have to go through Dark Horse or anything like that. A printer's a printer. You just order your books, they print them. And he has his own distribution stuff that he does to put stuff out. He does stuff through Dark Horse as well. He finished all of his active stuff through Dark Horse, and his new stuff he's done through self-publishing, because kind of like Liefeld with the direct-to-market thing, he does all of his stuff direct-to-market and then passes them off to the direct market through LCSs for people that, so it's available for everyone. It's first available if you buy directly through Rob Liefeld.
Speaking
It'll
of
later
like
become available through comic shops.
Speaking of like all these like indie people, what did you think of Terminal?
Oh, we'll get through there. I got a whole stack of stuff here. You want to go through books that we picked up this week?
So I'm going to say, obviously, Fawcett took the wrong avenue. They should have waited 85 years and then done Captain Marvel.
Yeah, that would have been the time.
right.
Oh man. All right, so yeah, I got a lot of books here. I just want to kind of speed through them and show them off. I do want to point out real quick for the box office tracking this week, because doesn't Spider-Man come out soon?
Next weekend.
There we go. So we'll know who Sadie Sink is playing by Wednesday.
I mean, it's Jean Grey, right?
I think that's the number one theory, but a lot of people have some reservations about the idea of potentially introducing new X-Men casting before Secret Wars. People are, because there's like a lot of different trains of thoughts, and Kevin Feige saying we're not introducing the new X-Men cast till after Secret Wars. That's why we're using the old X-Men cast now. But at the same time, there's the whole little, I tricked you. We introduced Jean Grey, but she's not an X-Men yet. She's just young, uncontrollable powers running around lost in the city, scared to hurt anybody, Jean Grey. So we'll see.
Tom Holland says that you'll know why it's called Brand New Day in the very last shot of the film.
She's going to like rewrite.
I don't really care, to be honest with you.
I'm about to say, I just want to see Spider-Man thwip at this point.
I don't even know if I'm going to go. I don't even know if I'm going to go see it. Honestly, I don't. Really
I definitely want to see it. I want to take Finn to see it. He loves Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man. I just hate shitty comic books. So there's no reason to spend money on them. All right, I'm going to go through this stack. Weigh in if you want to weigh in. If you got anything, because I got like 2 weeks worth of stuff here, and I'm not sure of 100% what goes with what week. I do know that these two were last week. But the Absolute Flash 17, it was a solid issue. We're wrapping up and dealing with the Gorilla Grodd incident with the rogues and stuff. And we talked about the San Diego Comic-Con announcements. Big things coming soon.
Oh, yeah.
For Absolute
Cyborg.
Flash. Yeah. Cyborg and the Atom. Absolute Green Arrow. After this issue, Steve, has your prediction on the identity of Absolute Green Arrow been affected at all, changed at all?
I don't even know who it is anymore, to be honest with you. I still think, like, at the beginning, I thought it was going to be Oliver. Once his son got killed, I don't think so anymore. So who knows? It sounds like there's some Lazarus pit going on. So we'll know. Who knows?
So yeah, me and Paul were talking. I think now more than ever, there's potential for it to be Ollie. So we know it's not Roy and stuff, but they introduced Miraclo at the end of this. You know, Solomon Grundy's the big tease for the next issue. We get the tease for him in this. And the whole idea of rich people trying to stay young forever and all that. With Miraclo, they said they can bring people back from the dead. Well, that's confirmed with Grundy. So I told Paul, since Miraclo is what Our Man uses, you know, he takes it and he's superhuman for an hour. What if Ollie's deader than shit? But he's taking the Miraclo and it brings him to life for 1 hour. And he has to take it every hour or he dies. What if that's Absolute Green Arrow? He doesn't look like a zombie. He's healed and all of this stuff. But if he doesn't take that Miraclo, he'll die.
Why'd he kill his son?
We haven't got to that part yet. I don't know why yet, Steve.
Okay. All right.
I don't have a clue. Maybe
I will say
maybe his son was part of why he got killed. Maybe his son was a bad guy.
Maybe. I don't know.
Sounds like everyone's a bad guy in this world so far. They're all terrible.
That was my favorite issue of the three, honestly.
It's pretty action packed. Absolute Wonder Woman 22. The second part of the 2-part story of Wonder Woman hanging out in hell looking for her mama. And we get like the next little step in Barbara becoming the cheetah, which we got the full reveal of that at San Diego Comic-Con, the grotesque look of that. And what I think is just a 10 out of 10 kind of day. I told Paul, this is my single favorite issue of absolute anything to date right here. This was
really?
Yeah. Yeah, just it's
good.
been going for knockdown, drag out battle for issues now. Hawkman, Steel, Superman, freaking Black Adam. But the level of which the action, and Paul pointed out the level of humanity that they display with Superman in this when he makes that phone call to Lois. If y'all want to know the details of all these, if you don't buy all the Absolute books, if you don't read all of them, we do. And Paul posts a video every Monday morning at 10 a.m. where we go through the Absolute books of the week. And tomorrow at 10 a.m. we'll be covering Flash and Green Arrow. And the following week, there are no Absolute books this week. So next Monday, Superman and Wonder Woman. That way, if you're not able to financially commit to them, or you're not sure if you want to, you can watch that video and keep up with everything. Mark, that is an amazing theory, but there's no way that's Connor. He wouldn't do that to his own son. No way that's Ollie, you mean? No way that's Ollie. He wouldn't do that to his own son. I said, I think it could be Ollie with the reveal of the Miraclo and the bringing people back. I'm saying that's an avenue. At this point, if Porn Sack Pistachio handed me the title and I had to write it from there, like that's just where my mind would go, because I'm not a comic writer, but I see an avenue for something absolute right there. What I think is probably one of the coolest books this week, Action Comics number 1100.
Mm-hmm. I love that book. I've not read it yet. I can, but I love that book. It's my first one I read every time.
This is a wildly important book. I will tell you, you need to read Superman before you read Action Comics 11. Superman that comes out this week. But it's the official return of Kal-El this week to Earth. And when we see him, he's not King Alpha Omega Superman. What happened to him? How did he get to the end of time? And how did Superboy, Booster Gold, Mary Marvel, and Martian Manhunter get to him to save him from entropy? Find out in Action Comics number 11. I'll tell you how they just flew there and got him. It was really like, hey, I got you. Really. But you get the final showdown between their little time-hopping villain and stuff. You get a lot of cool stuff in here and a little backup. Wasn't there a backup in this?
Yes.
Yes.
Two backups.
With Superboy Prime showing up at the home of Lois and getting into a fight with Connor. Connor's not a fan because he killed him.
Right.
Superboy Prime beat the brakes off of him. What was the other backup?
There was a Supergirl story, wasn't there?
I don't know. She was there at the house with Lois. They were all sitting there playing games, and that's when Prime shows up. Oh, the backup was Superman Unlimited. Yeah, it kind of touches on all of them. They put...
Oh, yeah, it sets up the Kingdom of Zod.
Yeah, the Kingdom of Zod Part 1 shows up. You see the ruler of this kryptonite city looking at his kingdom and kind of reminiscing on how he got there, just for his lead kryptonite knight to kind of just usurp him, put him in a man in an iron mask kind of situation made of kryptonite that'll ultimately poison and kill him, just to take off his mask and reveal that this whole time he's been Zod and you're about to kneel. And this kicks off the end of reign of Superboys and the start of this whole Zod storyline they're going to do. Kingdom of Zod. To catch everybody up, last time we saw Zod was in his 12-issue maxi series Kneel Before Zod, where he was out in space working his way back to Earth, and he had this whole ship full of criminals he took over and took under his wing. And the big reveal at the end was that he had no powers. His powers were taken due to the absolute power event. That's whose powers Lois has had this whole time. But here's one, Steve. Did you read it?
I did not, but it's in my box. This has been a busy week, man.
No, I understand. This was an issue 1 kind of play setter, reminding you of the kingdoms, the structure, the format of
wait. Hold on. I read that. I'm sorry. I was thinking the Aquaman book. Yes, I read that, and it was phenomenal.
Yeah. Pretty much just sets the tone and stuff. A little attack happens. Supergirl looks like she might be taken off the plate early on, and Arthur shows up, offering help and warning them of great danger. A sea beast comes up to the land. They're trying to fight it. Arthur pops up like, "Yo, chill, not here to fight," and warns them of the coming terror of Black Manta, which you would know all about that had you read the All Winter miniseries that had the Aquaman backup story that's now been collected in its own one shot with this phenomenal cover. Look at that.
What do you guys think they put Victor Zsasz in there?
In this?
No,
Oh.
another one. The one you just showed.
For
Dark
this
Knight
one?
Steel volume. Yeah. Why is he
I don't know.
in that book? There's got to
Because
be a
everyone's
reason,
in it.
right? There's got to be a reason, right?
They don't like just having random people. They like having like Easter egg supporting cast. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I don't think-
they talked about Bloodhaven.
You think he'll have a bigger role?
I do.
Yeah. I wish I could edit these stupid things. Yeah, it's fine. I got the Action Comics variant by Jim Chung. It's shiny and so pretty. And the Jim Chung one, he's wearing really cool shoes. J-Man, what's going on? All right, Deathstroke the Terminator issue 5. This second best.
Oh
next
my
level
God,
book
so
today.
good.
Paul, did you read this one?
I did.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the reveal, but the book is great. The pacing's great. The artwork is, dude, the artwork, there's something about it. It has this uncanny valley feel to me. Like I almost can't, it almost doesn't even look like it's drawn. It's kind of weird. I don't know how to describe it.
10 out of
I
10
don't-
book for me, man. I love the
wow.
art and I love the writing. It was phenomenal. It was one of
Yeah,
the only 10 out of 10 books I actually think is 10 out of 10.
And the big reveal at the end, this other assassin that's been just one step ahead of Slade this whole time, taking out all of his resources, finances, everything, has been his bitter wife, his ex-wife. So a woman scorn and all that. Am I right?
My only issue is that they kept drawing Deathstroke like a man the whole time until that issue. Now they were like, oh, let's make her a woman. You
Now
know,
she's got boobs. Then I have Department of Truth number 38, part 2 of a 2-part story, art by Ben Templesmith. It's dealing with the eccentric preachers and dinosaurs and the way that those two things interlap. If you don't know how those two things could possibly interlap, just look up Kent Hovind. You'll understand. So that's one fun thing about this. The more you know about just like the world at large, this book really works for you. So when I'm reading this, like I get what they're referencing, and it was fantastic. Dinosaurs were brought to life because people started believing in them in Florida, and they're running rampant on a church compound. And it's a pretty violent issue. Ben Templesmith's artwork is pretty cool. Detective Comics, anyone? The finale to the story, like this had a sad twist to it.
Mm-hmm.
So Prion, the character that was introduced in this flashback, Black Canary killed him in a sparring match in a boxing ring training, punched him and killed him. He had a rare condition. Also, he was a what is it called? Golly, that Aquaman story, sleeper cell. He was a condition program sleeper cell agent, and that's who the little kid's been in the rest of these, like the next one in line with Prion that they try to save. And in the programming, I've really enjoyed this series a lot. Mikkel Janen's artwork is just beautiful, works great, and this is a fun little trio to get to follow right there. Really enjoy it. What'd y'all think of the new issue of Flash number 35? Heat Wave's just trying to salvage pirate ships.
Exactly. When we go, "Arr."
I didn't read it, but I was really excited for Ryan North when he got on it because the first issues were pretty good. It's not been as good since, which I'm not saying like everything Williamson did was great, but like that run is like
Bro,
legendary
everything
for
Williamson
me.
did was great. You can just say it. It's okay.
Not every issue was great, but they were all better than the last couple of Ryan North's. But
It's
Williamson
really
is
easy
goated.
just to say
So-
everything Jeremy Adams did was great and let that be the standard. That is
Yeah,
for me.
I mean-
1 Minute War is undefeated in like the past 5-10 years.
It was fun for sure, and what he did with the Jay Garrick book as well, that was phenomenal too.
Yeah. Paul, did you read this one?
I did.
What do you
He-
think of the new
that-
Flash power? This
I was
power of
gonna say,
Flash
he's
insight?
getting new powers in all these universes, in the absolute universe, in this universe. Like, give me I can tell you what's going to happen in 30 seconds from now.
Yeah. So what he's doing,
Oh,
Steve, he's
I was going to say
recognizing-
they've been talking about that for the last couple issues.
Yeah, so they hone in on it. Like, he was trying to predict the weather. If he looks at enough weather patterns, can I predict it right? Well, he's like, what if I apply this to the city? So now he's running around the city, looking at everything, letting his brain infer what's going to happen. And now he's running around the city, putting a rock at the edge of the grass so the ball doesn't roll out in the street. No one gets hit by a car, and goes to like he's stopping little things from happening. The city's completely peaceful. So I'm assuming that they might get into the area of like pre-crime, pre-cog, Minority Report ish. If he's stopping things before they happen, were they really going to happen? What if you were wrong? Stuff like that. So we'll see where it goes. Like I think the artwork is pretty simplistic and not that great, but then you'll open a 2-page splash of like one of the most creative layouts you've seen all week, and you're like, dang, and you have to sit with it for a minute. Let me show you this. Like, it really caught me off guard and I loved it. But there's parts of the book that really works for me and parts of the book that's really like, oh yeah, let me just make Paul big. He was ready. Yeah, look at that.
That's sick.
It really is. Oh, there it is. Yeah.
They just signed this guy to an exclusive.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think he can only get better. Like I said, it's pretty simplistic. It's not bad. It's not very bombastic either, though.
Yeah. But Linda basically says, okay, so now that you're doing, it, where do you go from here? And it's basically he's heading to Metropolis.
Yeah, he's going to go clean up Metropolis before crime can happen there now.
Mm-hmm.
Paul, what'd you think of the new Green Lantern issue number 37 when Odyssey, tracking 1.2 billion at the box office right now, and Kyle Rayner have to battle social media?
Yeah, I think it was. I really liked it. It was like, and it kind of. I think it captures. Obviously not having a social media or incredibly small social media presence, but I think it captures what a lot of social media people go through. It's like, okay, you know what? You only read the bad stuff.
Yeah. It's pretty funny.
And that's the stuff that you interact with. So that's the stuff that the algorithm puts to the top. It's like, it's really kind of funny.
Yeah. So she's like in the public eye now. People are making comments and she doesn't know how to take it. She's new to social media. Kyle responds to one person saying, yo, that's not cool. And then he finds himself up all night arguing and responding to all these trolls and stuff. And the next day, an actual monster alien entity it's a physical representation of an internet troll that he fights. It's fueled by hate and this and that. And it's a fun little fight. It's a corny issue. It's just a corny one-off issue. Very, very tropey, comic booky. It was pretty fun, but you get a little bit more, just a couple of pages with Kyle, Y2K, and Jan up in space.
Yeah.
Moving and grooving through space. Infernal Hulk number 9. In this issue, nothing happens.
Okay.
Something happens. Like Iron Man tells Carol to fly through space because she's the most important person ever. So he's going to ask her to do it. And we don't know what it is he's asking her to do, but she's flying through space. Meanwhile, Bruce Banner goes to Brother Voodoo to take him back to the Chamber of Souls to go reclaim a physical version of the Hulk that was taken out of him previously, because he needs to have a Hulk and be the Hulk again to go stop the Hulk. Okay. So it wasn't bad. It was okay. Brother Voodoo was really cool in it. Justice League Unlimited 21. This was awesome. Did y'all read that?
I did
not.
So the second part of the Queen Brainiac return on the Watchtower fighting everyone. Airwave, unfortunately, was attacked and brought in for and helped to bring Queen Brainiac back unintentionally. Meanwhile, Guy, Metamorpho, Hawkgirl, and probably one other person were taking the little arc of all their powers that they made as a failsafe after Absolute Power to Oa. They crash landed on a planet. All those powers kind of bounced out. They're in these primitive creatures on the planet. Now running around with powers. Despero shows up, new form, gangster style, and waxes them and just leaves Guile standing there. It was pretty wild. But yeah, this was fun.
I have a question for you guys.
What do you got?
So obviously the Absolute Universe is dominating for DC.
Dominating.
Do you guys feel it's bad for DC in the long haul? Because if you look at like the top 50 comics in terms of units sold and money sold for the last couple of months, the only books really that are selling for DC are new number
Absolute.
ones and absolute books. Like there's not like Justice League's not on. I mean, Superman's on there, right? But like outside of Superman and Batman, I mean, that's it, you know?
Yeah,
And
like that's what I was saying earlier.
like Green
People
Lantern,
are
Green
pulling certain things to pull more absolute books.
Sure, but like Justice League Unlimited is a great book. Mark Waid's writing it. It's not on the top 50. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's a bad book, you know. Action Comics is my favorite book and it's not in the top 50, you know?
Yeah, it
And
rarely is.
I'm just like, I don't know, I'm worried slightly. Well, obviously I'm really glad that Absolute Universe is doing great because it's allowing them to, you know, branch out and try different books like Jonah Hex, like Dead Man, like whatever, you know. But
Batman's paying for all of those to be made.
Absolute Batman is paying for all those to be made. But like no one's really picking up all the other books, you know, and it's interesting.
Well, here's two things to that, Steve. They are picking up those books, but that's just how many more people are picking up the absolute books. Like just way far more. So people are picking those up in roughly the same rate that they were before absolute. And I would say a little bit higher because of there's just that many more total DC readers. Like despite Marvel sucking right now, Marvel still has the natural draw. They just do because of 15 years strong of superior marketing through the MCU. So they just have a natural slant for sales over DC. DC still having to work exponentially harder. This isn't a general audience of people that buying comics. DC has captured the comic book readers, but they haven't expanded out into a general audience as much yet. And also, this is exactly what I was saying. When DC sells 80% absolute books, what is the main universe anymore? That's literally where that came from, is if 80% of what they sell realistically is absolute titles and they have more and more absolute titles every day, that's now your main universe.
Yeah. And like I said, I still see it being like huge for another like at least 5 years or so. But I still think at some point, like obviously, well, like we're getting first looks at, you know, Absolute Cheetah, Absolute Cyborg, you know, all these different characters.
They'll all be out.
They're going to run out of characters. You know what I mean?
100%.
And it's not going to be as fun and cool and new. And then at that point, in my opinion, once Absolute Universe starts to die down, then that's when DC is like, okay, let's do a reboot of our main canon universe to get people back into that. That's what
I completely think that that's like what's most likely going to happen, because we've seen this all happen before with the original Ultimate line at Marvel. It was wildly popular, selling like hotcakes, and eventually it ran its course. You know, anything new has that, like you pointed out, Steve. It's all a fad.
It is. It's a current fad.
This is one that just was incredibly successful.
Yeah,
and it'll run its course eventually, and they'll have to come up with a new gimmick. Comics are gimmicks, but you know, one day will come when this is just cooler for the like. Just think, if there's a lot of teenagers reading Absolute, a whole lot of teenagers, a lot of them. Now, what happens when they want to stay in comics and they don't care about the main universe at all? They only care about Absolute. Yeah. Those are your future readers. Those are the ones that are recommending the younger kids under them to Absolute and stuff like this. And Edgy's cool.
Paul said he's got to go.
I got to drop. So
later, buddy.
Okay. All right, Paul. Take it easy, man.
Take care. Bye.
Steve, we're about to hit on one that is probably your bread and butter. After Monsters number 11, which was a good issue, you got the glow in the dark 2 of them. Could always buy 2 copies of that. But hey, here it is, Steve.
Hey,
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue number 2. This is the A cover. Really enjoyed this issue. Here's the 1 in 10.
Beautiful.
Here's the 1 in 20. Is freaking gorgeous.
The head is too small, man.
What are you talking about? Absolute Batman?
No.
Here's the 1 in 25.
I like that.
Yeah, I dig the suit designs. I'm digging the book. I like this issue a lot. Dude, I don't know what you disliked about it. I know it's been weeks since it's come out now. Probably hard to recall all of it, but I read it and thoroughly enjoyed every bit of it. They had to kind of touch into.
Just didn't feel like it moved the story forward at all, and issue 2 ended the same way issue 1 did, with Tommy still out somewhere. No idea where he's at.
Well, that's just a tease, a 1-page teaser. And this issue ended with Rita literally pulling up on Earth, the new Rita. Like she wasn't there in the last issue. They beat her little machinations that were on Earth, taking out all the tech that doesn't work against the Power Ranger technology. They figured out that they had to come at it with these assets that they have as adults and not as teenagers. Trini got her kid to her. They identified that Rita is after Trini's kid because in this other universe, the Rangers caused the death of her kid. So she's there for literal child violence. The Tommy thing is just a stinger after credit thing every issue. And we got him approaching. We saw that he was in Dinosaur Land in issue 1, but now we see him approaching some kind of fortress in issue 2. So he's not simply in the past. There's something else to it.
Yeah, I just felt like not a lot happened. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it was all action packed though.
It was. I'm just, I don't know, expected more.
Hopefully it'll deliver. Space Ghost annual for this year. You get 12 issues in an annual every year of Space Ghost. So season 2 just wrapped up. This was just a nice little, this Space Ghost committing to keeping these child sidekicks. Is it too dangerous? Is it worth it? It's all good. Of course. First crush, Amy Jo Johnson.
Her and Topanga.
Yeah, 100%. Jonko, what has happened? Hello. We got Superman issue number 40, the final issue of Superboy Prime, headlining the book, the final face-off with Manchester Black. This gets so meta. It's done so well. I don't know how he plotted this book out because it seems like an impossible task to be. Like it's almost like he broke the fifth wall if it existed. You know what I mean? Like he goes so far into it, but he says his goodbyes. Superman's taking over his own book again. I'm going to miss him. I could have gone for another year of Superboy Prime on this. He's not going away. What?
I mean, it's been good, but I'm ready for Superman to come back.
No way. I'm so happy with Prime, dude. Just keep Prime for a while. Give him his own series. Do something. But I had to get that variant cover by Javier Fernandez. Look at that.
Oh, my God. Wow.
I love that design of Alpha Superman. That's just gorgeous. And for the annual next week, there's a Mark Spears one that I'm getting with this. I'll probably just make it all Legion Loot stuff. They're gorgeous, man. They're absolutely gorgeous.
I'll message Paul if he has one.
Huh?
I'm assuming he doesn't, but I'm gonna ask.
There's plenty. Oh, this?
Yeah.
Yeah, this came out last week. I'm not sure. I was there just a little bit ago. Swamp Thing 91, the finale to Rob Veit's Swamp Thing, 4 issues. This was great. I really feel like this issue might have been what made it where they didn't want to necessarily put it out because it rewrites all of Swamp Thing from here forward. The Swamp Thing from first appearance to this point ends up using the Spectre and the power of the Spectre and the help from John Constantine kind of middlemaning the deal to send them to another planet where Abby, Swamp Thing, and the baby can live peacefully. And he went and got another Abby and Swamp Thing from a world that was about to end and manipulated their memories enough and planted them on our Earth. So the Swamp Thing that we've known forever since then is not the original Swamp Thing. Pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. All right, Steve, now we're there. We're there. All right, let me do this real quick. This one of these came in a collection. I picked it up.
Dude, I wore my C3 shirt yesterday.
You know, look how good they look next to each other.
Oh my God, that looks amazing.
Yeah, right?
That looks amazing, bro.
I have this already. It's in my Turok run because it was a crossover between Turok and Exo that happened, but one came to the store and you don't just pass it up. So grab that. And Wonder Woman number 35, which is the Wonder Woman interlude, the 2-issue Stephanie Williams stories between the next art for Tom King. Good stuff. Just a little bit of retelling of Wonder Woman's origin for the most part. You got to do that every now and then. Now to the book that you asked me about from the beginning.
Let me hear it because I asked Paul late to put it in there, even though I said a couple months ago I wanted to pre-order it. I forgot that it came out. So tell me about it.
So you haven't read it yet?
No.
All right. Well, I'm going to approach it that way. So this is a book that I was able to read like back in like April. Robert Kirkman sent out an email to the shops and stuff with a preview of it because he wanted people to read it ahead of time because I guess they do that more often than you would think. But it was pretty cool. And then I kind of forgot about it for a little while. I was going to make a video on it, never got around to it. And so when it came out, I picked up my copy and I picked up one blind bag, just one. Did you get a blind bag or just a regular?
I asked if he had a blind bag, but I would take any cover. I think he sold all the blind bags by the time I messaged him.
He didn't get a ton of blind bags. That's why I only picked up one. And I didn't know what was in them, what the chases were, anything like that. I've since watched some videos, and you can get anything from the A cover to future issues. Issue 2, issue 7, issue 10. Ultra rare advanced copies are in blind bags, which if you get an issue 7 or 10, what are you going to do with it for 7 or 10 months? You just have to put it away. But so at that point, it's just a cover score. But it's pretty much just an homage, an ode to the 1990s extreme era of comics and teen books. And what you have is this world where this girl's looking for her sister who's been gone for a while. And you have two factions. You have the good guys, as we're led to believe that these are. And then you have the bad guys, as you're led to believe these are. And what it is there's these two mysterious... Oh, yeah. This is the foil embossed.
That's sick, dude.
The foil embossed.
With the clear backer board.
Yeah, so I can see the wraparound.
You have a blue and a gold?
So it's a connecting cover. If you open it up all the way, like it connects. Like, see, there's the backs. They go together.
Oh, nice.
It's like a 4-page image if you open them both up and lay them down. So like this girl's about to be attacked on the street by this guy. It is very violent, very gory. He kills the guy that she's getting her information on where her sister could be from. Then she gets saved by her sister, who's now like this hulking, strong woman kind of thing. She takes her back to this island and tries to explain to her, I've been gone because this secret order that's trying to fight for the fate of the world against this other secret order. And what it is you have these innate abilities in you, these cosmic abilities that have to be activated. You have to want them. There's this whole ritual thing to it. And they attempt to activate her so she could stay with her sister and work with this team. It doesn't go how you would think. Big kind of like little cliffhanger ending. Out of all these characters you see on here, you only get introduced to a few right out the gate. And what's pretty cool is like they give you like this little twist, Steve. It's really cool. In the beginning, you get on the first page the like a little character bio. So you have the activators, the good guys, and then the awoken, the bad guys. So you have like the two team and some names so you can recognize them. Not even all of those characters appear in the book. But the first guy that you see here, his name's Blaster. And by page number 3, he's already been cut down and just destroyed, dude.
Wow.
So it's pretty wild, pretty hardcore, pretty fast paced. And the coolest thing is a creative team. So Robert Kirkman is writing it along with Joe Casey. Andy Kubert's doing the art, but also Dave McCraig, Dave Finch, and Arthur Adams. So you have like Dave Finch, Arthur Adams, and Andy Kubert all doing art on this book at interchanging times or something. So it's like massive group of creators all working together on this. It's really cool.
I remember seeing a preview for it and I was like, dude, this sounds cool.
That's a really good question. I'm not really sure what's in them. I didn't get one of the rare advanced copies. I actually got one that I thought was perfect in the blind bag pool. Did you happen to watch the short where I showed my blind bag pool?
I did.
Yeah, I'll share it here. I bought one blind bag. I opened one blind bag and I pulled the 1 in 100 Frank Miller foil, which I'm a huge Frank Miller fan. Like I'm a big time defender of Frank Miller. So that was awesome to get the 1 in 100.
Yeah, I watched it, but I forgot what you got. And I was just looking at those covers. That's a $40 book all day on eBay.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. I think it was like $5.99 for the blind bag.
Hell yeah, dude.
And then I went back today and picked up this trade paperback. It wasn't in. I've heard nothing but good things about this Chip Zdarsky running Captain America, so I wanted the trade paperback. And earlier in the week when I was there, it was in a box, and I told Matt not to worry about digging it out. Just when he gets to it, throw it in my box. So for all you out there that think that I just hate Marvel, I don't. I hate Disney. Like I hate the people that run Disney. I hate bad books. But if something's good, I love Captain America. And if something's good, I'm gonna read it. This is getting nothing but good reviews, so I'm excited. I started reading it. I'm into issue 1 already. I was kind of blown away by issue 1. I love them kind of bringing us back to Captain America a week out of the ice and making sense of the world and kind of going through meeting Iron Man very briefly, just so you can see how he interacts with these people. I feel like Chip Zdarsky has a very good voice for Captain America, and some of the perspectives that he has on the world so far are great. And I like how he's already having to talk to Reed about Dr. Doom and trying to understand the mindset of Doom, having just dealt with someone in World War II like Hitler, and if this is just another one and stuff. Because I've heard this and Wolverine really tee up and influence or really lead to the Avengers event happening right now. Forget what it's called. What's happening in Marvel right now, Steve?
I have no idea, but I ordered the Marvel Dimensions book that
The Alex Ross
is doing.
one. Yeah. But
I just pre-ordered it from Paul.
Nice. I'm trying to catch up on this and check out
is it
some
like
of that.
the ultimate finale or whatever?
No, not the Ultimate Universe, just their main universe event happening right now. Armageddon, thank you. There it is. Avengers Armageddon.
Oh,
so I want to check out. It's all Chip Zdarsky led. So what's happening right now at Marvel, it seems like while you have a ship of mediocrity at best, you have Chip Zdarsky that's a shining light who's kind of been talking about how it's all a little too disjointed and not meaningful, but he's in control and talking with a couple other people that are kind of locking in. You know, there's a couple people there that worked at DC recently, Chip, that saw what it's like and how to do it, and they're trying to lock it in despite the rest of it. So it looks like you can channel a few titles, and it really will give you a good little reading experience. So yeah, this is off to a great start. I'm very excited for this. I guess I'm going to have to check out the Wolverine one or something.
So
Armageddon.
Speaking of the Marvel Dimensions, Paul let me know there are like 3 different things you can order. There's like the regular trade, which is what I ordered for $29.99. You can order like a hardcover for $50, and then like a signed numbered one for $100.
Yeah, I don't want a signed number, but Paul, if you're, I'm assuming you're at home now. I need the hardback one to match this. This is the last one Alex Ross did with the Marvel Arts thing. Yeah, I need that version.
I gotta go, bro.
Yeah, that was the last book I got. That's it for me for tonight. Dude, I appreciate everybody watching. From where? Hey, reach out to ABX Comics and Games for all your long distance comic shop needs. You can find them linked in my description. They're located here in Augusta, Georgia. They can be your long distance comic shop. That's where Steve gets his books from, as he doesn't have a comic shop within an hour from him.
That's right. I do not, and it stinks, man. It really does. But I got to go move something and help her get ready for bed. So
that's it. I appreciate everybody watching. Check out the San Diego Comic-Con video tomorrow, the Ghost Rider video on Monday, or join the channel membership and watch them all now. Until next time.
Go watch the Lanterns trailer.
Oh, the Lanterns trailer was dope. Peace.
You are who you choose to be.
Superman.